Hi there, welcome to the Modus Super Series where 3 players are through to Champions Night in Series 7 and the final 3 will join them at the end of this evening's action. Matthew Edgar alongside me has been all of Champions Week, and this afternoon we saw Andreas Harrison and Reece Robinson and get through, and this is your favourite part of any week, so when I say you were right.
Well, it's a very common theme, isn't it? Nah, I'm not going to go down that route. But yeah, Reece Robinson into finals night. I'm happy with that due to the fact I picked out that value of 16-1 at the start of the week. The two sort of likely runners did get through that. It wasn't as plain sailing as maybe the odds would make you think, but it's Champions Week. No one's going to have it easy. And it was a really good contested group during Group C action. And now we know half of our field.
Yeah, both players actually a testament to that it's not easy. Andreas Harrison in particular, because it was such a tough start for him in Group A. All of those 4-3 defeats. But he played at a high standard, and in the end he got his rewards.
Yeah, it's mad to think the way that he played, that he ended up in a Group C campaign in the first place. The amount of 100 plus checkouts that he had in a record-breaking group for ton plus checkouts in Group A. He just couldn't get over the line. It was those low combination shots that sort of let him down in that Group A, but he polished those up, and everyone knows what sort of threat he's going to be tomorrow night, because for weeks we've sat here and thought that was our winner. And
Reece Robinson, Mr. Must-See, the human highlight reel, he was pretty much in the same stock as Harrison, all business, wasn't he?
He was. There wasn't a Reece Robinson we've seen in the other weeks, but he alluded to that when he sat up here with you at the end of the show and sort of went over it, and he said, this is Champions Week. This isn't the time to... He likes winning the weeks, but ultimately when he won the week before, he said it was a qualifying week. And that's what he saw it as, a qualifier for this. So this is what he's eyed up all along, and that is why I think the value's massive on him, because he's eyed this up for a long time, and he's been ready for 3 months for tomorrow night.
So those two join Bo Greaves in qualifying for finals night, and we will find out who the other 3 players are. They'll come from that middle section there, Group B: Cam Crabtree, Bradley Brooks, Jimmy Van Schie, Darius Labanauskas and Connor Henahan. And it is Henahan, Labanauskas and Crabtree that are in pole position, and by a distance as well.
And you look at the group, you look at the leaderboard, and you think, well, it's going to be all done and dusted very early tonight, and we know the 3 players that are going to go through, or we think we do. That's not going to be the case. This is Champions Week. We've got 2 players sat towards the bottom end of the table that maybe not have won games yet, but are capable of going through the card. That's why they're here. They've won those. And they would have been stewing on that overnight and through the day. But what they're going to do is they're going to come up here and they're going to fire everything they've got into those early games, because they have to. There is no wait till the next game. There is no I can afford to lose. If they lose a game or a couple of games, it's over. And the 3 at the top go through very, very early. But I don't think that's going to be the case. They're going to come out swinging.
Let's turn it on its head then. Out of the 3 at the top, who would you be most surprised to not make it, to not go through to finals night?
It's got to be Crabtree. He's got the most recent form in regards to winning a week here. He's got the most recent form in regards to going deep on the Pro Tour and picking up titles in various arenas, a very, very high ceiling. And we know that from the first time he ever played here at the Super Series. I think Crabtree is someone who's going to win an entire series, whether it's this one or one in the very near future. I think he's going to pick one up, and he's going to be one of those players that sort of use this as a really good leapfrog and a platform, and that money could be sort of life-changing at this stage of his career.
Let's just get confirmation of the table before tonight's action gets underway. As we mentioned, 3 on 6, Henahan and Crabtree on exactly the same record. Henahan just ahead on the head-to-head, 1 match sample size. Darius Labanauskas also on 6. Jimmy Van Schie is on 2. Less of a CV than Bradley Brooks. So out of those 2, is Jimmy Van Schie more likely to win 3 or 4 matches and get through, or could Bradley Brooks do the total opposite of last night, win all his games and turn this around?
Well, he did that in Group A, didn't he? Monday was poor, Tuesday was good, Wednesday was brilliant. And by that, I'm purely talking demeanour and body language. Last night, he went back to Monday. He was sort of moping around, the shoulders were slumped, the head was down, and just giving off a negative. And ultimately, that will make you negative. There is a reason we stand in certain ways, and there are body postures and power positions that can actually help with the production of testosterone just by standing in different ways. So when you do stand in a negative way, ultimately, it's going to make you feel negative. And he got what he sort of went up there and planted the seeds of. Let's say, though, tonight, you can't do that, and he knows that, and he's going to come out fighting. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Bradley Brooks play a part in this tonight.
Right, let's see what the bookies think. This is for the group winner, so who will finish top of the table. They've gone for Cam Crabtree in that. Bradley Brooks, a massive outsider, 200 to 1. Conor Henahan and Darius Labanauskas just behind. So they think it's pretty much over. But as you said, Matt, anything can happen at the Super Series, this short format, but especially on Champions Week.
I normally like to argue with the bookies as well and sort of try and take it on a little bit. But the only thing I'd change there is maybe flip around Henahan and Labanauskas. I think Labanauskas is probably the second favourite in regards to winning this group. But we've seen good stuff from Henahan, and they're probably judging that on those 9 darters that he has hit. They are expecting that those top 3 are going to stay, but it's going to get a bit nervy. So there's going to be a game, and it's going to go to like a 3-3 situation. We're going to say in comms that this leg is a leg that can really decide the destination of this group.
Right, the first match is Crabtree against Conor Henahan. I'll let you go and join Chris Mason in comms. Enjoy it as well at home. A win in this one, and it could be, well, pretty much a foot in finals night for either Henahan or Cam Crabtree, who talked to Robbie Dove earlier this evening.
Cam, welcome to your second day here in Group B. You're probably used to speaking to us by now. That's got to be testament to your really good performances of late.
Yeah, it's good. I've sort of cemented myself as someone that's doing well here and here quite often, which is something to be proud of.
Absolutely. Top of Group B, joint top of Group B. How do you assess your performances yesterday?
Yeah, I was really happy with my results. My performances in the first 2 games, I had reasonably good averages, but the performance didn't feel as good as that. And then a good performance against Jimmy. Towards the end, I was a bit tired. I didn't throw my best darts, and Conor was very, very good at punishing me. So well done to him, really.
Obviously, the winner of the last time we were here for a week, week 12, our winner, you suggested that you like the idea of Group B. Has that played to your benefit so far?
Yeah, I was thrilled to hear that I was in Group B again, because I didn't want to be here for too long and, feel like I hadn't had a rest. And I much prefer the evenings to the earlier start, so Group B is perfect for me.
So you enjoy the couple of days off then that you've had between winning and now?
Yeah, definitely.
What would winning the whole thing be? How would that feel in your career? What would that be like for you?
Yeah, it would be. I was going to say high up there. Maybe the best thing that I've done. To come through. What is it? 144 players, I think, that come through in a series, and there are some ridiculously talented players. So to finish number 1 would be brilliant. But I'm not thinking about that just yet. I'm thinking about being number 1 out of 5. So we'll see how that goes.
Have you been counting all 144 participants?
I just thought it's 12 in a week and 12 weeks, so yeah.
Maths is obviously a strong point. We'll wish you the very, very best of luck.
Thank you very much, mate.
Yeah, it's all about being number 1, and somebody will get their name added to the Super Series Roll of Honour at the end of tomorrow night. Don't forget to tune in, 7:30, finals night, champions night gets underway. But who will be there? Both of these players come into tonight in an excellent position, and a win in this match would further tighten their grip on a finals night spot. Cam Crabtree taking on Conor Henahan, Chris Mason and Matthew Edgar guiding you through it.
Thank you very much, Chris. Well, I'm looking at this and thinking Cam Crabtree can pretty much get it done in the opening 3 games, Matt. He faces Henahan here, a game off, where Labanauskas plays Brooks, and then he's back on again against Jimmy van Schie.
So it's all in his own hands to get the job done nice and early, which is a dream situation for any player on a night like this.
Yeah, the two wins guarantees. 1 win for me is enough. So he's got 2 games in quick succession. 1 win in either of those. I think it's job done. 2 wins, and it's definitely job done. Our referee, Jack Garwood.
$57.
Welcome along to all of our viewers, whether it be on the Modus Super Series YouTube channel. Please subscribe and like. You know the drill by now.
96.
Welcome along also to those watching via their chosen betting app. We know thousands of you do. Please gamble responsibly. Have fun.
60.
And be gamble aware. If you do have any questions for myself or Matthew Edgar,
99.
fire away. Keep them sensible. Keep them civil. We will try and answer them, and also keep you up to speed with what's going on or what has gone on
48.
on the Euro Tour.
Now, got a question for you actually, Mace. So when I looked at the odds slide, Crabtree favourite,
54.
Henahan and Labanauskas. Did you agree with that slide or?
No, I would have had. I'm with you. I think you said you'd have had Labanauskas in second.
Switched
Yeah.
60.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. So this evening, Dimitri got the better of Gabriel Clemens. The woes continue for Rids. He went down 6-3 to
58.
Diamond Boda. And how about this result? Cami Menzies stuffing Barneveld 6-1. Luke Woodhouse getting the better of Ryan Mirko by the odd leg 6-5. Watamina beating Cullen 6-5. Dukes beating Decker. That's a bit of a shock for me. 6-5. Ryan Joyce with another disaster. Losing to Moreno Blom. James Wade winning 6-0.
134. Connor, you
That was
require
your
96.
action for the evening on Euro Tour 7, the Dutch Darts Championship. That gets underway tomorrow afternoon, I think midday.
Game shot on the first leg, Connor Henahan.
And then it's back to the proper darts tomorrow, 7:30 on our YouTube channel.
Second leg, it's Cam
Well,
to
there's
throw
quite a lot of
first.
significance
Game
there
on.
in regards to the world match play as well, in regards to those results that you just mentioned.
Ooh, tell us more.
Well, James Wade
100.
winning that's just give him that little bit of a buffer now over Callan Ritz by £3,000. I mean, Dote seems to be the closest challenger right now.
Yeah, and Ridge is in a
96.
terrible run of form, isn't he?
So could be missing out on Blackpool.
95.
That's two things we mentioned, isn't it? Blackpool, they play in orange, and Holland in orange, and
He's wearing yellow.
got his orange shirt on. If he wasn't with us for
84.
Group A, there was a running joke going around that, well, the production crew thought he was wearing yellow.
Well, Owen Binks did, and
99.
his favourite band, the most boring band in the world, of course, released a song called Yellow.
65.
Do let us know who you think is going to go through. Myself and Mace agree with the odds compilers that
57.
the likelihood is Crabtree's going to take the group. Do you agree with those, or are you taking it on?
Someone just asking. Evening, Mace. I'll be in
80.
Croatia during the World Match
Can
Play.
you
Will I be able to
require
watch on PDC
150?
TV? I'm pretty sure you will. I think several others confirmed that this afternoon.
98.
How many 9 darters have you had? Official ones for me. I was the first one to ever hit one in the World Masters. I hit one
136.
on a
Can you require
PDC
52?
Pro Tour, and then I've had a couple in matches and exhibitions. And
32. Connor, you require 40.
how about you, Matt?
Game shot on a
Well, it's not a
second
9 darter
leg.
there for
Connor
Henahan. He's hit
Henahan.
loads of those, but that's the one he needs right now, tops. He's doubled his lead against the group favourite.
Third leg. It's Connor
Honestly-
to throw first.
I've
Game
hit
on.
plenty, but I always say the answer to that is 0 because I don't have a 9 dart pin badge.
39.
And until I got a 9 dart pin badge, I would never claim I got one because it doesn't matter hitting them in an exhibition
No.
or a local open.
That's what I was saying.
On the pin
Talking
match.
official ones,
96.
just
None.
2.
None.
Not as much as a question, but Bristow would have loved Littler, wouldn't he? Oh, yes.
134.
He certainly would.
I think two things are happening in this game in regards
58.
to what we saw last night. I think Cameron Crabtree's just took the level down a little bit. At the same time, Henahan's just rose his. And that is
60.
a recipe for a Henahan win.
Well, it was the only game that Crabtree lost last night. Was the final game in the session, and it was against
42.
Henahan, of course, and he just come off the top in that one, 84.04. He might not like playing Henahan, who knows? We didn't ask that question. But he's playing to a similar level
95.
here as he did against Henahan last night.
And sometimes there are just people you don't like playing. You don't like the pace of it. It doesn't suit your
92.
rhythm.
This is really delayed. 90 seconds. Has to be, I'm afraid. Apologies if 90 seconds in your life is a
95.
huge drama.
59.
Best experience
Connor, you
within
require
darts. Well, a
78.
couple playing for my country. Rooming with Eric for about 10 years. That was an experience. Yes, I've got my
58.
9-dart
Cam, you
pin
require
badge, Ted.
154.
This to try and get a foothold in the game. And it's just not working in the early parts of this one for Crabtree. And the problem is the early
89.
parts in the game
Connor,
very
you require
quickly
20.
become the finale in this very, very short format. Up to double 5.
15.
And that
Cam, you
might be the
require
invitation that
65.
Crabtree's been waiting for, because he's not been able to carve one out. So there's a chance to cash in on the mistake, and when things aren't going.
53.
Out right on the wire.
Connor, you require 5.
You tend to find you always hit the bullseye when you're in this little run where you need the 25 the most.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't go for the treble
Game's on the
13.
third leg. Connor
Henahan
Henahan.
mops up. Hi, Matt and Chris. Was wondering if you could make the perfect dart with each component from all
Full
players on
flag. It's
tour.
Cam to throw first.
What would you pick, as
Game
in
on.
point, flight, barrel, etc.? There's no perfect dart exists for. The only time a perfect dart exists is for you. There's no universal perfect dart, which is why
135.
there's so many variables, because ultimately these guys have tinkered, experimented, had their own specific
140.
stamp put on the dart that suits their particular grip and release and power of throw, etc.
100.
Lee Seymour, apart from Darius, it is a young field tonight. What should be the maximum age for youth world champion? For me, you should have to be a
96.
teenager. I see Ted Evans got a bit of stick for being like 24 after winning it. I think he means Luke Humphries.
Yeah, and I was guilty for that. Most of that was me, I
50.
think. So
Cam, you
I
require
chipped in.
170.
but a bit of a slip on the last shot there for Henahan. Just giving
125.
the benefit of a setup play there for Cameron Crabtree. And a chance to get his first leg on the board. It's all been a little bit too comfortable at the moment for
95.
Connor Henahan.
Cam, you require 45.
13 for double 16.
29.
Nothing doing.
Connor, you require 76.
This could be it. This could be a big, big win for Henahan. Not only the points, but the size of the victory.
60.
That is
Cam, you
a
require
wasted
16.
opportunity. 2 at double 8 to wrap it up 4-0. Like you say, a 4-0
Game shot on the
scoreline
full
in this
flag.
group
Cam Crabtree.
is massive. Does anybody else struggle with gripping darts, or is this a rookie phase? Yeah, what you've
Fifth
actually got to
flag.
do
It's
is
Connor to throw first.
not grip them
Game
too
on.
hard. You've almost got to let the dart sit in your hand, or it feels normal.
100.
Anybody spoiling in terms of posting the results before they've happened on the stream, you will be banned.
100. 140.
Matthew Corser says World Cup inspired Modus week, 12 different pairs from 12 different countries. Yeah, we've
140.
been looking into that, haven't we, Matt? I think that's a potential goer for a special week.
100.
A good solid leg here, though, Henahan, isn't he? He's got the darts, he's got the advantage, and he's down to a finish after 9. And when you're Crabtree, you've just got to try and keep pace and hope.
59.
And now he's
Connor, you require
afforded a
161.
setup shot here if Connor Henahan needs it. 6 darts now at 161 to get the job done.
121.
Quick maths.
Very different weight, but he's ended up leaving himself on tops, and this time he's got 3 darts to get the job done.
59.
He's already got the weight of dart
Connor,
being
you
down there.
require
It makes
40.
sense, really, doesn't it? Every day's a school day when it comes to darts. And he
shot.
gets the
And
job
match.
done
Connor Henahan.
identically to how he got it done in the final match of the session last night. I don't think Cam likes playing Connor. 4-1 is the scoreline. Connor Henahan with a 85-83. He had the only max of the match. Crabtree 83-05. And, well, that puts Connor on to 8 points. 1 foot in the finals. Up next, Darius Labanauskas taking on the sadly pointless Bradley Brooks.
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series. Well, Thursday night was an absolute disaster for Bradley Brooks. He didn't get a win, didn't get any points, and now he has got to do it the hard way if he is to turn it around. But it is possible, particularly in a Group B. If he wins all of his matches, then there is every chance that he will qualify. But that is a tough task with the quality of players in this field. And no more difficult task than starting with the Lithuanian lobber, Darius Labanauskas, former quarter-finalist at the PDC World Championship, no less. And he will be a real tough opponent for Bradley Brooks, who just cannot afford any mistakes now. The 24-year-old former world youth champion from Blackburn needs to pull off the great escape. Can he do it? Let's see, in the company of Chris Mason and Matthew Edgar.
Thank you very much, Chris. Yeah, well, we're going to find out because he has to be perfect. Just before before the end of the last match, a couple of questions coming in on the YouTube chat. What's the heaviest and lightest darts pro use? I think
First
it was
leg, it's Darius to throw
was
first.
12 grams for Bunting,
Emo.
and he went up to 18. Searle uses 36 grams, but I'm not sure if there's any heavier, none that I know of. Matt and Chris, have you ever played each other in a professional
43.
setting? And we played each other in an exhibition just once, and I think Matt won 5-0. He used to remind me of it regularly. I would love to see a Bo Greaves Reece Robertson final.
98.
Yeah, that isn't too bad. Chris and Matt, what would you say, or who would you say is the Modus head of table?
40.
Well, the one that's made the most money.
Yeah, I don't think we've established that player for 2024. Obviously, 2023 it was Luke Littler. I believe 2022 was Graham Usher. I don't think we know who it is yet for 2024, so that
140.
is still out there and available. But we did, Chris Murphy said it, Darius Labanauskas did reach the quarter-final stage of the PDC World Championship. That was in 2020. He went on a good run after getting very, very fortunate in the opening round. He squeezed through 3-0 against Matthew Edgar before going through 3-1 against Ian White, 4-2 against Max Hopp, and 4-2 against Steve Beaton before losing out 5-2 to Michael Van Gerwen in the quarterfinals. And do you know what I'd like to say? I probably gave him confidence because he probably didn't expect to win that first round.
No, he was a little bit lucky in that opening game.
45. Bradley
One of my
require
earliest
83.
memories is watching Chris against Ted. Both scored a ton of 180s. Does Chris remember that game? I do, yeah. How could you forget it? Led 2-0, led 4-2,
43.
despite Ted putting in well over 20 180s against me. Yeah, it's haunted me ever since, to be honest. Thanks for reminding me. Who throws heavier darts,
94.
Mace or Edgar? I throw
Bradley
22s.
require
What's
40.
yours?
21.
Yeah. So not a lot in it.
There's not a lot in that.
Game
There
shot
it
on the
is for
first
Bradley
leg,
Brooks, and we said
Bradley
we expect to see him play with a lot more determination and aggression. It's not over yet, and it's Champions Week. So
Second
you don't have
leg, it's
time
Bradley
to come
throw
in dwelling
first.
and
Game
thinking
on.
about yesterday. There's still opportunity, and that 14 dart up is going to set him in good stead.
108.
Night and day. What is the most used weight for pros then? I'd say around 21, 22.
Yeah, it's around that area, yeah.
$60.
Someone wants to know, is it true I was asked to be a contestant in Celebrity Big Brother back in the day? I was, yep. And I turned it down.
140.
Do I need a power drill to put up a dartboard? Well, you are if you're putting it up on a stone wall. If you're putting it up on a wooden wall, no, just a strong arm and some wood screws.
60.
This is a strong performance from Bradley. Look at this, 180, 140. Darius Labanauskas nowhere to be seen.
Someone here saying the limit is 40 grams. I thought it was 50 grams.
125.
It used to be 50 grams. It got revised.
Right, okay. And wasn't it 12 inches, the length of dart or something?
I'm not sure on the
28
length.
centimetres, something like that. Oh, he's got 28 He's got it there, Ted. Limit is 40 gram
81.
and 28
Bradley
centimetres
56.
in length.
Well, a 14 dart for Bradley in the opening leg, and he's looking at the potential
46.
4-visit leg there for Bradley. When you look at the performance yesterday, it wasn't too bad. He had an 85, 2 90s in there. Just wasn't really getting the breaks.
140. Bradley
Who would you say is the best
10.
player in both your own thoughts, Mark? I think we go the same.
Game shot on a second
Mine's
leg. Bradley
Phil
Brooks.
Taylor. The numbers still stack up, even though things have even improved in
Third
the 6
leg.
years
It's
he
Darius to
was,
throw first.
or 6 or 7
Game
years
on.
ago, where he was coming to the end of his career. Are you supposed to weigh the dart
60.
without flight and stem? Yeah. Yeah, it's all about the barrel weight.
$100.
And isn't the point considered as part of the weight as well? Because you weigh with point, don't you?
Yep. Yeah, it's the barrel and point complete. is what would be weighed when you...
And then you weigh the flight and stem separate. You actually, if you were playing a 21 gram dart, you'd probably more like 23 and a half with everything
133.
involved.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
$60.
Darius trying to get a foothold in this one.
Trying to think who plays with the longest dart. I probably wouldn't be far off Luke Humphries. He uses a really long stem, doesn't he?
98.
Chris and Matt, should Peter Wright retire? God, no. Still in the top 10 in the world, isn't he?
59.
Why would anybody retire if they still enjoy... It's like saying as soon as someone's 65, right, retire. Well, why?
Well, it's only had a bad sort of 3 when he picked
80.
up a major title
The European...
7 months ago.
Yeah, European Championships.
$96.
There's
Darius,
Darius
you require
Labanauskas' chance to get a foothold in it. It does have that same sort of feel as the first game for Crabtree. Maybe a few nerves on show because they can see the finishing line and see how close they are to getting over the line and
41.
booking their place on Saturday.
Is it kind of a shame that Phil Taylor didn't finish career on getting one more championship when he did? His retirement year, he won the World Match Play in emphatic fashion.
96.
One of the most difficult
Darius,
runs I
you
can
require
remember.
89.
And then very nearly won the Worlds. Took an inspired performance from Rob Cross. Double 16 to peg one back.
57.
Well,
Bradley
this would be a big
require
hammer blow
90.
here from Bradley Brooks. A double breaker throw in the offing. Oh, and he's starting on the ball.
65.
I'm not sure I'm sold on that route
Darius,
yet.
you require 32.
Oh, there's some beauties in the chat. I can't wait for this, Matt. Sit tight, mate. Buckle in. I'm tired.
Game shot on the third leg.
Gets there in the
Darius
end.
Labanauskas.
Without a bit of a scare. Who would win a match between you and Matt right now? Oh, God. Don't know. But it
Fourth
wouldn't be
leg.
pretty.
It's Bradley to throw first.
You won't want to watch it.
No,
Game
you wouldn't
on.
want to see it. 5 for 8 to the ball and 2,930 millimetres on a
140.
diagonal from the bullseye to the floor on an angle. Even though Littler is not dominating per se, are we entering a new era in darts?
85.
No, don't think so. He's just another addition. Unpopular opinion. This is from Elliot Moss. Oh, this will be unpopular, Elliot.
100.
But no darts player, older generation than you, has been at the level Luke Humphries is producing on a consistent basis. My goodness. I take it you're about 17.
140.
I'm not talking about your IQ.
$57.
Yes, Mark, plenty of times, and so does Matt many times when he sat next to me for a week.
140.
10 years ago, a 90-plus average would win you a world title. I should have won bundles of them. What happened?
96. Darius, you require 136.
Holy macaroni, what is going on out there? Lee Sumor,
Bradley
who wins
require
the Jack
108.
Catterall-Josh Taylor rematch? Do you know? I'm usually fairly certain on these things, but...
45. Darius, you
I
require
think Jack
36.
Catterall points.
Game shot on the fourth flag. Darius Labanauskas. Fifth flag. It's Darius to throw first. Game on.
Well, I don't think we can let a good opinion spoil a good fact, can we?
No.
So
It's a cool story, though.
So let's go back to 2014. The
100.
PDC World Championship was won by Michael van Gerwen, who averaged 98.03, who beat Peter Wright in the final, who averaged 98.93. This is tournament average, by the way.
45.
98.93. The actual final average was 100.10. The furthest player who averaged 90 reached the third round stage. That was Mervyn King and Devon Peterson. But we did
57.
have people losing in round one, such as Stuart Kellett going out with a 95. Jamie Caven,
58.
91. So yeah, you may have got through the first round.
But it was a cool story.
Oh, Dean Winstanley, 95. Terry Jenkins, 95. Dave
60.
Chisnell went out with a 98 in the first round.
Phil Taylor only won 16 world
99.
titles because he basically played part-time KFC workers. Oh, that's hilarious.
Do you still have the discount codes, Chris?
Yep, I do. I've got a lifetime membership.
108.
2009 World Championship, he won with 110.94 average. A 90 plus would get you over the line against that, honest.
Well, Bradley Brooks is in trouble here because he was 2-0 up and looking like a
40.
completely different
Darius
character up there
require
tonight. But
104.
that two things is happening here. Bradley Brooks is going down and Labanauskas is going up, and he's got time on his side now as Lucky D. Because there are so many blows you can take
92.
before the blows just start to wear, and we saw them wearing all over Bradley Brooks last night, and I think the cracks are starting to show again of that frailty due to the lack of form he was finding out there on the development tour.
59. Darius, you require 12.
Defeat here for Bradley would all but end his
Gauge
hopes.
shot on the fifth leg.
He would be
Darius
bottom of the table on
Labanauskas.
0, only able to reach 6 points. Darius Labanauskas with victory had moved to 8. We've
Sixth
already got
leg. It's
Henahan on
Bradley to
8.
throw first.
Crabtree's
Game
already
on.
on 6. So we could be in a situation here. We actually know our finals lineup quite early. Jimmy Van Schie on 2 points. He's starting his campaign next. But
100.
I think for him, the good thing is he's playing Crabtree, who lost his opening game and didn't play to the standard we know that Cam has got.
91.
But this is it for Bradley. He's got to dig deep. He's got to fight hard. This is his moment.
Gotta find a way.
60.
Just got to trust what you've done over all those years and forget those recent moments. It's so easy to sit here and say, but it's very, very hard when you're up there,
125.
especially when you've got someone like Darius Labanauskas up against you, who's just so steady, always finding a red.
97.
Danny, you're not funny. You're not funny. You are really, but
100.
I had plenty of first round exits myself. One against Andy Fordham, one against Roland Sholton, one against Phil Taylor. That memorable one, it
68.
was when Mission Impossible was at 1997. They had me jumping out of helicopters and I fancied it, I had to be honest. It was my first encounter with Phil Taylor.
170.
3-0, 3-0, 3-0. Thanks for coming.
And maybe thanks for coming to Bradley Brooks as well, who narrowly missed out on qualification automatically through Group A. He missed out on leg
136.
difference to Bo Greaves.
Darius, you
And
require
now
15.
he's in danger, facing the trap door, disappearing from the equation in regards to qualification.
Game shot
Darius
and the
Labanauskas
match.
has completely
Darius
turned it around.
Labanauskas.
Bradley Brooks, 2-0 up, was cruising But then it's completely turned around, and Darius Labanauskas, I think, will feel that he is there. A man who recently picked up a WF title. We may be seeing him on Champions Week final night. A 4-2 success over Bradley Brooks, move him on to 8 points. Bradley Brooks stays bottom of the table on 0, but the next one is the one. Jimmy Van Schie takes on Cam Crabtree. Hang on a minute.
Wow! Oh my God! Well, that's £100 down the drain already.
Itching to hit the 180.
He's gone for the maximum.
18 for the bull. Bull.
53.
No, he said bull. That's a great first out from Adam. Oh, look at this. He's going to leave Schie. Oh, can you believe it? That is unbelievable.
Get match starts to put his team into the final. And through to the final they go. Charlie Murphy has hit the match-winning dart on both occasions. Double 4 for the title.
Game shot out the net. Please show your appreciation for the winner of the Influencer Pairs event, George Scaife and Adam Lipscomb.
He seems to be out. That's what he is. Charlie Murphy. A couple more visits yet. We're not going to need that.
Bosh.
Pie face is through.
And he's absolutely buzzing.
It was a game that Pie face dominated throughout.
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where Group B could be wrapped up very, very quickly indeed. That defeat for Bradley Brooks has put him on the tungsten trapdoor, and victory for Cam Crabtree here would confirm Brooks is out of the race to make it through to finals night. It's a mathematical miracle required anyway. Jimmy Van Schie, though, is in a similar position himself now. Only 2 points for him. He really needs a win against a 20-year-old challenge to a title winner from this year, Cam Crabtree. If Crabtree, though, defeats the Dutchman, then he's going to need to win all of his remaining matches and hope that one of the top three loses all of theirs. By halfway through the night, it could be mathematically over, and we will know our 6 Super Series Champions Night participants. Guiding you through the action then, it's back to Chris Mason and Matthew Edgar.
Thank you very much, Chris. Yep, quite simple for Cam.
First leg, it's Cam
Get the job
first.
done here.
Game on.
When these two met last night, it was a 4-3 win. Yeah, it was a tight game.
45.
Despite Cam Crabtree averaging 102.57 to Jimmy Van Schie's 86.67. He was just hanging in, and he ended up somehow taking it all the way. Chris, is it possible to lift heavyweights and play darts? When I get home from the gym, my average declines quicker than Matt's hairline.
85.
What? Okay.
Hairline gone, has it?
No. That's why I had to have a look. I was like, well, I missed something.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a reflection somewhere.
It depends how heavy, but your muscles are going to be depleted after training. Initially, you're going to be sore, obviously, because you are exhausting whichever muscle group you're training. I maximum dumbbell press for sets and reps, 50 kilogram a side, and that's as far as I go anyway. But I don't seem to have any issues.
60.
Straight afterwards, obviously, if you're playing darts that night, I wouldn't train arms. That's for sure.
Well, a lot of it will come down into the warm-up preparation and stretching because obviously
and the warm down.
140.
And stretching throughout a set as well is very important to not have that sort of fatigue afterwards.
Yeah, and try some
$134.
ice baths.
Can you require 147?
Matt and Chris, your favourite game you have ever witnessed? Oh, there's so many, and there seems to be at least a few every year. But so far this year, it was the Damon Heta Luke Littler UK Open match. Remarkable.
$91.
So a straight ton here for Crabtree to hold on to his throw, but Jimmy Van Schie is sat waiting. A wayward opener, and he can't recover the situation.
44.
So Van Schie in a must-win game. It's kicked off perfectly with a break of throw.
Jimmy Van Schie.
Cam Crabtree at the back of the stage now, just having his practice swings. Doing it in full stance. It just looks very tense tonight. Even before the dart was thrown in this game, he had that pause, didn't he? He's just trying to make sure of it. Maybe not enough. Well, trust was the word we've used, doesn't it, a lot this week? Maybe just not enough trust in the action or trust in the process right now for Crabtree.
Someone asking who lives close to the dart post, round the corner from Ryan Searle, as it goes. When I lived in Tiverton.
100. $108.
Welcome back.
2. $140.
Van Schie having none of it, resisting the challenge at the moment of Crabtree.
Well, he's averaging 105, so he's
140.
matching Cam at the moment.
Jimmy require 121. $53. Can you require 85?
Single 20. That's a bonus, double 5. Gets it very clean and needed. 12 dart, break back.
Maybe those practice swings at the back of the stage did him
Third
some
leg,
good.
it's Cam to throw first. Game on.
They do that a lot in other sports, don't they? Like
Golf.
Cricket, baseball, they'll come out
Snooker, they'll get down and...
177.
Maybe we're seeing Crabtree be a bit of a pioneer. Could be. Perfect.
45. $57.
Victory for Crabtree would see him move on to 8 points, joining Connor Henahan and Darius Labanauskas. And that would be the end for Bradley Brooks mathematically. And it would also mean that Van Schie would have to win every game and hope for favours.
Yeah, he'll have to hope things go his way and results go his
60.
way.
Cam, you require 127.
Yep, Tony. Hope you will.
Former World Masters champion.
87.
Tony West, I believe it was 2002, wasn't it, when he beat Raymond van Barneveld?
I like this one.
58.
MVG
Cammy
Taylor
require
would not
40.
win 16 world titles if the players they played in his era. He would lose in round 2 or 3. Oh, he's hilarious.
20.
Please don't stop.
$140.
This
Cammy
is real
require
quality,
20.
though, from Crabtree. He had a slow start in the opening game, lost that one, lost the opening leg, and then Van Schie, 2 140s and a ton. Crabtree went out in 12 and then
Game shot on a third
follows it
leg.
up there
Cam
with another
Crabtree.
solid leg.
4th leg. It's Jimmy to throw first. Game on. $97. $58.
Well, the average from Jimmy Van Schie has dropped by
100.
10 points. But still very good, down to 96. Cam's got his up north of 90. He's put a good little
99.
spurt together of 12 and 17 darts.
$60. $47.
I wonder if Jimmy Van Schie stood up tall with his head upright. He could pretty much make eye contact with the camera at the top of the board.
Yeah, definitely. It's 5 for 8 to the ball.
60.
And he's a good 12 inches above that, I would have thought.
I wonder if you have to go to like a special
60.
clothes shop, or if you can just get them off the shelf.
Yeah, 2002, Tony West lost in the final
60.
to Dubs, and then come back the following year and beat Barney in the final to lift the title. I'm good, thanks. Just recovering back surgery. I'll take care, pal. Speedy recovery.
59.
Well, it's
Jimmy
close then.
require
That was only a year, right?
124.
That is the luxury of having that scoreboard
92.
advantage, and Crabtree not being on a finish, didn't need to entertain the 14 on ball, could move on to the 16 and 8 corridors and set himself up nicely on double 16
42.
to level up the game.
Jimmy require
But for
32.
Crabtree, you've got to say, it's been a very in and out performance, hasn't it?
Game
He's
shot
been
on a
hot, he's
4th
been
leg.
red hot,
Jimmy
and
Van Schie.
when he's been cold, he's been ice.
Yes. Nobody's getting frozen out
5th leg.
in
It's
this one
Cam
at
to
the
throw
moment.
first.
Chris and Matt, do you
Game
think
on.
James Wade will ever rediscover his best form and become a top contender? You never know with James.
137.
So many times over the years you think, I wonder if that's... And then all of a sudden he will pop up from nowhere and take a trophy and
108.
pick up a title.
2.
What does a player need to do to get invited to Modus? Well, either have achieved something either on the WDF or the
99.
Challenge or Dev Tour, or have success on in the ADC qualifiers. There's a quite simple route in.
100.
Well, I don't mean simple in terms of qualifying, but simple in its procedure.
$58.
Wow, there's a concept for you, Matt. Blindfold all the
57.
dart players, and we will see who the most naturally gifted is. How does that work? And do you want to try and explain that for us, Matt?
Well, I want to see it best of 7.
140. Jimmy require 164.
A couple of trebles required here. So Crabtree, again, that sort of in and out consistency, that hot and
80.
cold nature.
Cam, you require 67.
Looking to regain the lead.
Game
That
shot
was
on the fifth
dangerously
leg,
close
Cam
to the treble
Crabtree.
18.
Wasn't it? He would have taken a deep breath there when that left his hand.
Sixth leg, it's Jimmy to throw
I
first.
think what that
Game on.
expression was saying there from Crabtree. Really caused
140.
himself a few problems.
Best player you've ever watched other than Phil Taylor and MVG? Ooh.
100.
I've seen players have some unbelievable spells in practice sessions, but when Adrian Lewis was still quite new,
100.
myself and Wayne Marder were all up at the Scottish Open, and we had heard a lot about Adrian, so we went over and thought, right, we'll have a watch. It was best of 9 then, and he reeled off 5
92.
consecutive 12 darters and made it look ridiculously easy. But outside
100.
of MVG and Phil Taylor, probably Gary Anderson, Adrian Lewis, MVG and Merv King in practice was bonkers.
96. Jimmy, you require 161.
He did a lot of it, so he should have been.
$137.
Well, this looks like it's going to be going all the way. And Schie leaves himself on 12s after 12.
43. Jimmy, you require 24. Game shot on a sixth leg.
And we
Jimmy
do
Van
go all the
Schie.
way. What did I say to Murph earlier on? I said there's going to be a very important
Seventh
game
and final leg. It's Cam to throw first.
where it gets
Game
to
on.
3 apiece, and there'll be a one leg that'll decide either the group being pretty much completed or it being game on.
57.
That leg you're about to watch before your eyes. It is that moment. It is that time.
Yep.
Van Schie loses this. He goes 6 points away from a qualifying place, and it's pretty much job done,
135.
bar a miracle.
Prime Taylor or Prime MVG, I'll put it this way, if they played the same format 10 times, I think Phil would
59.
win it. Prime for Prime, 6-4 or 7-3. So, over the course of 10 matches on 10 different days over the
75.
same format, I think it would be 6-4 or 7-3.
What a time to have a bounce out there for Van Schie. And you can see at the back of the stage there, gesturing that, because essentially now he's
97.
playing against a 4-dart advantage of Crabtree, who had the advantage of throwing first. So he's really going to have to make sure that every visit has a couple of trebles.
78.
Big last start there just to rescue the situation.
Needed.
45.
So he needed trebles and he knows it himself. Gesturing at the board. It's almost like Jimmy
134.
just won't be denied. And this is quite possibly the worst possible start for Cam Crabtree.
60.
I
Jimmy
was
requires
thinking that
79.
1 out of his 2 games or 2 out of his 2 opening games and it's job done. It is far from job done.
59.
And the fact that Crabtree's been on already means Jimmy Van Schie will have a game in hand to find the 2 points that he would be behind Cam Crabtree. So this could really start to
65.
open up here.
Jimmy
But Jimmy's got to get the job
20.
done.
Game
It
shot
does,
and the
with
match.
minimal fuss
Jimmy
there
Van
at the
Schie.
end of that one. Jimmy Van Schie is up and running. Cam Crabtree, a lot to ponder here. He started the day with a 4-point gap over the qualifying places, but he's played 2 matches and picked up no points. Jimmy Van Schie is now closing in and showing that form that recently picked him up a WDF ranking championship. Can he get himself into finals night? But coming up next, we've got Bradley Brooks, and he's going to be taking on Connor Henahan.
Well, that last result from Jimmy Van Schie beating Cam Crabtree has just thrown a real spanner in the works in this group. Not only does it keep Jimmy Van Schie's hopes alive and really dents Cam Crabtree's chances, but it also offers an unlikely lifeline to Bradley Brooks, who could still get through if an incredible set of results now went his way. He'd have to win all his matches, and Cam Crabtree would have to lose all of his, and then Van Schie not pick up more than one extra victory. But it does mean that nobody is yet out of this group. They will be if Conor Henahan wins this game, and Henahan will be through to finals night if he wins the match. The Irishman is a win away, and victory in this one would see him join Bo Greaves, Andreas Harrison and Reece Robinson. Here all week to talk you through the action, Chris Mason and Matthew Edgar.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, it's very much in Henahan's hands from here.
100.
I think 8 points is going to be enough, and he's got a healthy enough leg difference, all barring a absolute disaster. We'll be seeing
125.
Conor in tomorrow night's final, as you say.
Well, Crabtree's going to need a favour, you feel, from Labanauskas as well, because
100.
Jimmy Van Schie now has that game in hand and he could reel him in. With the right leg
100.
difference in that, it could even dislodge Crabtree out of one of those qualifying positions.
95. 85. 45. 61. Bradley require 161.
In this match last night, it was one of
61.
the many tight ones we had. Henahan just edging out Bradley, full three. 91.05 Henahan, 90.90
120.
for Bradley in
Bradley
defeat.
require 100.
Both good finishing, 50% in that one for Conor, 42.86 for Bradley.
90. Conor, you require 10. 5. Bradley, you require 10.
Shake of the head for Henahan. He knows the opportunity was there to get the breaker throw on Bradley.
Game shot on the first leg.
Bradley itself.
Brooks.
I mean, for Bradley Brooks, you've got to feel for him a little bit, haven't you? Because only missing out on leg difference of getting that
Second
automatic.
leg,
He could
it's
have had 2
Connor to
days
throw
off had he had
first.
just
Game on.
won a couple of extra legs. That's all it was.
The fine margins, and there was games as well in the course of that 3 days. He should have won. So it wouldn't have even been down to leg difference. It would have been a case where he was
58.
2 points in front. But that is the fine margins. That's why you've got to be on the ball.
Now it looks like he's not even going to be in Saturday night. But you've got to feel at the moment with the way in which Bradley Brooks' career was going, being here on Champions Week is a good step forward and good progression.
81.
He'll get plenty more opportunities, I'm sure, throughout 2024 to come back to another Champions Week, and is sort of player with the pedigree and the talent and the quality
81.
that you would expect to see once again picking up another weekly title.
Jacob Coombs asked, Chris, who is for you the best player never to win a major PDC TV final? Dave Chisnell. Closely followed by Terry Jenkins.
Yeah. It's almost like I knew what you were going to say before you said it.
140. Conor, you require 55. Game shot on the second leg. Conor Henahan. Third leg, it's Bradley to throw
Going with
first.
throw.
Game
That's
on.
a nice little 14 darter for Henahan.
That was frustrating Bradley as well, wasn't it, last night, the bounce outs? That's his second one there.
Well,
Just the angle just clatters into the material, doesn't it?
well,
134.
what's happening is the dart isn't getting into a flat enough aerodynamic position, so it's
100.
almost going into the board at that angle. So if it touches any of the other darts in a certain way, they'll just end up on the floor. They're not actually bounce outs, are they? They're deflections.
If you look at the angle of the dart in the hand compared to the angle of the entry, he's got to get that finger off the dart very quick.
140.
And the finger's almost pointing through to the board, isn't it? And
Yeah.
to get that off with that sort of time, sometimes if he doesn't get that right, he's not going to have the sort of angle of the entry. So it's just going to almost hit side on to the board.
Yeah, the dart's almost rotating as it's reaching the board. It's not flattening out enough or quick enough.
134.
Yeah, Merv King's right up there with one
Connor,
for
you require
won a
134.
PDC major. Some says no longer feels like a certainty that MVG wins more world titles. And well, it's been a while, hasn't it? Was it
Bradley, you require 87.
5 years?
Game shot on the third
Yeah,
leg.
Terry
Bradley Brooks.
Terry Jenkins still plays a bit of senior stuff as Brooks holds himself in 14.
Fourth leg, it's Connor to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, Ronnie Baxter, Tony. Fabulous
100.
player. Runner-up in the World Match Play. Beat me in the semi-final. Don't know how.
60.
I know he likes to self-run himself down a lot, which maybe is why he doesn't come into this conversation very much. But would you include Mardell in that?
95.
4 World Semi-Finals, Las Vegas Desert Classic.
Yeah, well,
Match play runner-up.
140.
no, the numbers for me just don't. The numbers don't stack up.
136.
He had a very clever way of playing that really did include the crowd, and it could be. I mean, he won the Dutch
Connor,
Open.
you
No
require
one wins
170.
the Dutch Open if you're not a proper dart player, but I'm not sure. I don't think I'd include him in one of the
81.
sort of in that list of players. I'm not sure. I don't know really.
100. Connor, you require 89.
Do you think MBG will get his form back? I don't think he will ever get back to
48.
the level he
Bradley
was.
require
And listen, all sportsmen
141.
have a peak. Eric's was between probably 80 to 86. It was quite a short career at his absolute best, and nothing lasts forever. No one can beat Father
51.
Time.
Connor, you require
Not even Phil
41.
Taylor.
Game shot on the fourth flag. Connor Henahan.
And do we have a dark horse for the World Cup? You like Northern Ireland,
Fifth
don't you?
flag.
yeah.
It's Bradley to throw first. Game on.
It was Las Vegas, wasn't it? Peter Manley won.
It was, yeah.
140. $96.
Again, he's a player that made multiple finals, but if you ask me straight up, do I think I was a better player than Peter Manley? Absolutely.
99.
Who had the most success? Peter Manley.
Yeah, he pretty much reached a semi-final or beyond of pretty much every TV title.
Yeah.
96.
Yeah, until he made the final of the Worlds, we had quite a similar path of semi-finals in the match play, semi-finals in the Masters as well for me.
98.
Multiple world semi-finals, but he was another one. He was a great match player, very much like Wayne, I suppose. They were good match players. They would find a way to win.
Bradley require 164.
Oh, another one of those. Would it give him a shot at the bullseye?
124.
That really was a feature, wasn't it, in Group A? All those big finishers. Bradley Brooks did chip in with a 164.
Yep. That's the highest of the week so far, isn't it?
82.
So
Bradley
far, yes,
require
but I wouldn't be
40.
surprised to see that rose.
Game shot on a fifth leg. Bradley Brooks.
Yeah, again, another hold of throw. People here saying Phil Taylor ran out of steam. No,
Sixth
during
flag, it's Connor
COVID, he
to throw first.
just didn't play at all. Didn't pick a dart up for a couple of years and
100.
completely lost his way. Tom. Hi, Chris and Matthew. How about Les Wallace in the Super Series? He's been in it
140.
and bailed before it was finished.
Bradley Brooks is on here for his
140.
first victory of his Group B campaign.
And ironically, against top of the table.
Yeah. But I think the biggest problem is the time of it. It's just too
60.
late, isn't it, really, in a realistic sense for Bradley Brooks.
Yeah.
But what it would do is it would keep people like Crabtree very interested in
100.
regards to it. And then he could look ahead rather than always looking behind at Jimmy Van Schie, because he could then look at maybe jumping Connor and switching places with him. So there could be lots of twists and turns coming your way
100.
over the
Require
next couple of
161.
fixtures.
A player throughout one series will get
61.
one full week, depending how many times they qualify in that series, and then either one Group B or one Group C. They will never get more than
60.
2 opportunities
require
over the whole
100.
series.
$40. Bradley, you require 141.
Oh, another one on the floor. That is 3 in this game.
70.
Someone saying,
Only
do you think
require
Humphreys and
60.
Smith is the best we have for the World Cup when it's done on world rankings? And of course, they are the top 2 English players in the rankings.
50. Bradley, you require 71.
Do I think Luke Littler is playing better than Michael Smith right now? Absolutely. But them's the rules. And he wants double 5.
66.
Well, what a lifeline
Connor, you
this is for Connor
require
Henahan.
10. No score. Bradley, you require 5.
This for his first win of the group.
Game shot and the
And he
match,
gets there in the
Bradley
end.
Brooks.
It was never going to be the case that Bradley Brooks went through the group without picking up a win, and he's finally got there, but it may feel a little bit late for him, and the dejected look there is probably due to the fact of how the week has gone for him. He's hit the post on many, many occasions, but on that time he scored the goal, the 4-2 victory over Connor Henahan. But coming up next is another big clash for Jimmy Van Schie as he takes on Darius Labanauskas.
Well, on a night where it seemed like all three players in Group B would be through and confirmed at finals night halfway through the night, there is now the chance that nobody will be through halfway through the night. It's been a quite remarkable set of results so far. And Bradley Brooks, who started stone bottom, he's still in contention. Jimmy Van Schie started with a win tonight against Cam Crabtree, who needed to put him away and has lost both of his matches so far. So now it's over to Darius Labanauskas to be the first player, remarkable to be saying that in Game 5 after the way the group ended up last night, to be the first player to go through from this group. Interestingly as well, Brooks' remaining games are against Van Schie and Crabtree, the players immediately above him in the group. This could get very, very interesting. But Labanauskas here looking to make himself safe. If only he was playing Matthew Edgar rather than Jimmy Van Schie. Back to Matthew and Chris Mason.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, well, we were thinking this was going to be a night of dead rubbers, Matt, but it's turning out to be
81.
So much different. We did think that a couple of the players on the bottom could become spoilers.
Well, there might be more than spoilers. There might be jumping in and replacing the players that thought they'd had the job pretty much done. And instantly, this reminds me of yesterday's fixture with the size difference.
It's remarkable, isn't it?
Gets the camera crew working, doesn't it, for the different sizes?
Absolutely. Question here. Do you think we'll see Gary 47. Anderson and Raymond van Barneveld in circuits like the Seniors Tour or Super Series? No, well, you won't see... well, I think the only place you'll see Gary when he eventually hangs them up will be in 81. Exhibitions and maybe one-off special events.
Or if you go fishing.
Yeah, or if you go fishing. He won't be playing the Seniors. Barneveld will do anything for a pound note, so you could see him anywhere.
133.
Bruder Jacob, do you think Littler wins the playoffs? No, mate. No.
140.
Loses in the semi-final.
$140. Jimmy, you require 99. $67. Darius, you require 86.
Well, that eliminates the single to ball choice. 2 low darts there from Darius. Jimmy Van Schie, an opportunity here to strike first. Bit of a mess there from Darius.
Jimmy, you require 32. Game shot on the first leg, Jimmy Van Schie.
Bit of a missed opportunity for Darius to get a breaker throw in early.
Second leg, it's Darius to throw first. Game on. $100.
One of the many close ones last night. Darius won this one 4-3 against
60.
Jimmy. 89.5, beating the 85.5 from Jimmy. Very efficient. Yeah, again, he was tidy on
60.
his doubles last night, wasn't he, Darius?
The problem's just been getting down to them for Darius at the moment. Jimmy Van Schie really has came to play. I said at the start of the night for the players at the bottom of the table, they really need to stand up and fight tonight, as it is Champions Week, and you never know when you're going to be back on this opportunity again. And Jimmy averaged 95.85 in his opening game, and he's around about the same again. He really has took his levels up here tonight.
Yeah, playing much better. Here's a good one. Jacob Coombs asks, guys, what's your biggest what-if moment in darts? Cullen double 16 to win the Prem is up there. Yep, I agree. For me, it was the World Semi-Final between Adrian Lewis and
92.
James Wade.
Darius, you require
When
142.
James was in absolute control, and then we had Windgate.
So break opportunity here for
82.
Jimmy Van Schie. Just
Jimmy,
needs
you
the one
require
treble.
109.
And he'll get 2 darts at big power trebles. Regularly used trebles. Unable to find them.
39. Darius, you require 60.
And tops.
Game shot on the second
Functionality
leg. Darius
once
Labanauskas.
again there for Darius Labanauskas, looking good. But going back to that conversation, I think for me,
Third leg. It's Jimmy to throw first. Game on.
I would dispute the Joe Cullen Premier League one purely
140.
on the fact that it wouldn't have changed the course of the rankings. Yes,
No.
it would have gave Joe Cullen a major title, probably another Premier League campaign, but it wouldn't have changed anything like what you said there for James
55.
Wade, Adrian Lewis.
Yeah,
that would have changed the world rankings, and it would have changed 2 years of history,
Yep.
where that Joe Cullen game wouldn't have changed anything
85.
other than that night.
One of our members of the production team, he says
133.
Michael Van Gerwen on the double 12 for the back-to-back 9s. I mean, will we ever see anybody go that close? Who knows?
96.
Someone asking what did I think of Menzies' performance against Barneveld. Yeah, I seen 6-1. I did mention it on the stream a little earlier. I ran through all the results. Yeah, great result for Cammy.
83.
Why do they play
55.
so late? That's a very good question.
$60.
We
Jimmy,
do
you
have an
require
afternoon session on a
125.
Thursday and Friday, of course, which is 1 until around 5:30-ish. Oh, tops for a beautiful shot.
105. Darius, you require
But it was initially to
170.
come on air when all the other sport had finished.
$60. Jimmy, you require 20. Game shot on the third leg. Jimmy Van Schie.
He is digging deep, isn't he, Jimmy Van Schie? He's doing his part in this, turning it around.
Fourth leg.
Someone
It's
saying here,
Darius to throw
Modus Super
first.
Series darts. What if
Game
Littler
on.
never played at the Super Series? He'd have around 70-odd thousand pounds less in the bank.
108.
She's like an appearance fee for him these days, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, on a serious note, I mean, what great preparation that was,
131.
especially going straight into the Worlds, pretty much, wasn't it? From here,
I think it's one of those decisions that, with time and with sort of how it's gone and hindsight,
131.
it was a decision that was made that I think really benefits both parties. I think both parties really coming out the bright side of that one.
140.
David, what if up until winning the Premier League, it was his proudest achievements,
100.
winning back-to-back Champions Week titles or series titles? His words, not mine.
60. Darius, you require 90.
No, I didn't see the bust up between Jermaine and Joe Cullen.
Well, I keep saying we're going to
50.
see a 170 at
Jimmy, you
some point
require
this week.
170.
Is Jimmy Van the Man.
Another one of those. A little bit of a smile across the face there, wasn't there?
I think he fancied it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised with the angle of entry as well. It did look inviting.
Game shot on the 4 flag, Darius Labanauskas.
Jared Cole finally arrived in Middlesbrough, 6 hours on the road.
5th flag, it's
Now
Jimmy
to
to
watch
throw
Modus
first.
and chill before bed.
Game
Yeah,
on.
good luck this weekend in the ADC events up there in Middlesbrough.
Could have gone up with Neil Duff.
Yeah.
60.
Neil Duff was in the same accommodation as us, wasn't it? By the time we got back at the end, he'd already packed up and gone.
$100.
Someone's saying, the Tudyk's on a different level than Van Gerwen. And is his best time over? Slightly.
58.
They're looking more likely at the moment. That I wouldn't write Michael off so quickly if I was you.
$100.
Yes, Jacob Duzza has a couple of moments. The Hogan comeback. Faced a match start against McGeaney as well, didn't he?
Yeah, I think the biggest
96.
one there out of all of those has to be the Matty Dennant missing at Q School,
Yeah.
because that would have meant he never got a card and
Never would have been in the Premier League.
wouldn't have beat Van Gerwen in the match play and all the things that happened along the way. So
81.
absolutely, they're the sort of key moment, the ones that affect like the destiny of darts.
What if the PDC was never formed?
60.
Where would darts be now? Yeah, good question. Not in a great place. Modus Super Series. What if Chris Mason had Twitter? Oh dear, no thanks. I think I'm about
100.
4 years off of that now, nearly 4 years. Best thing I ever did. Absolute toilet.
180.
Well, that
Darius,
could be
you
the best
require
thing that Jimmy Van
120.
Schie does today. A beautifully timed maximum. But that's in. It's tops.
100.
Great effort.
Jimmy, you require 47.
Yeah, here's a good one, and it's relatively recent. What happens if Littler hits that double 2 at 5-2 in the Worlds?
Double 16. 8s.
31.
And I can tell you
Darius,
from
you require
experience, you give
20.
Darius Labanauskas a chance like this, more often than not, it goes.
Nowhere near.
Game
Wow,
shot on
that'll
the
hurt
5th
if you're
flag.
stood behind
Darius Labanauskas.
watching that. Why do
6th
they
flag.
have
It's
male
Darius
and
to throw
female
first.
in
Game on.
different competitions? The same reason they have male and female football, male and female cricket, male and female combat sports, male and female tennis, male and female swimming.
60.
It's not rocket science. Simple biology.
Well, we are potentially a leg away here
58.
from having another confirmed place. If Darius Labanauskas completes the job here, he would be the 4th guaranteed player through to Saturday night, leaving us just 2 places left to find.
174.
A Labanauskas win would also strengthen the chances of Conor Henahan.
Yes, he'd be doing
100.
him a favour. What if players were still allowed to drink alcohol while playing? They're free to do so if they choose. Just, I wouldn't say the majority, but a lot don't.
97. $99. Darius, you require 170.
Someone says about the Peter Wright and Malik Dem.
130.
They have a dart at the ball, didn't he? Was it the ball? Maybe think of another occasion. But you got to dodge some bullets along the way to win a big tournament. That's the nature of it when you
40.
look over the years. But Darius here, he needs tops to be the first player to move into double figures, and he finds it and gets there in the end. Darius Labanauskas tops the table, 10 points. By my calculations, he is pretty safely through to tomorrow night's final. 90.94, very close, wasn't it, in terms of averages? 90.54 for Darius, 180 apiece, and 40% on the finishing for Darius Labanauskas. Well, we'll have a short break, a quick chat with Chris Murphy and Matt Eckert, and then we'll be back for Cam Crabtree against Bradley Brooks.
Welcome back. Well, we have a fourth name in the field for champions, and that Darius Labanauskas has done the job. Matthew Egger, you thought it would happen at some point. You also said it might not go to script, and it kind of hasn't everywhere else tonight, has it?
Oh, what a night so far. And, nothing's really done and dusted as of yet. Even Bradley Brooks at the bottom of the table has still got to root through this, despite the fact we said if he loses one, it's probably done for him. Well, he could still get through on 6 points. That's the way the night's going. Crabtree, though, he was the guy that we really thought, myself and Chris Mason, would sort of kick on tonight. And he's gone completely the other way. He's looked tight, he's looked tense, and maybe just showing a little bit of the signs of sort of the fast-track route he's had in darts, because he hasn't been playing this sport too long.
Yeah, Mace was right. He said he would have been looking to get it done in the first couple of games. Well, Cam Crabtree's night didn't turn out as planned. Here's what happened. The results from this evening: he lost the first one 4-1 and then lost to Jimmy Van Schie in the last leg decider. Now he finds himself in a bit of bother. Bradley Brooks plays him next, and if he beats him, suddenly he's breathing down his neck, just 2 points behind.
Yeah, and when you think Bradley Brooks only won one game, that's just crazy to even think. However, that last game for Bradley Brooks did come in the last one. It was against a guy top of the table at the time in Henahan. And Bradley Brooks has been playing better tonight. Even his first performance was good. He just get a little bit too distracted too quickly for my liking. And if he can just find that focus, but he'll get that with winning. That distraction comes in due to the sort of form line. But he'll have a look at that table and he'll think, well, if I can get out here now and put a good performance in, I'm back in the running. So this is really cutthroat knockout darts now for Bradley. Maybe he needs not just a win, but a strong win. So I really want to see that focus on him and that determination from the off.
In his shoes, would you be kind of free rolling, thinking, well, I'm as good as out, I might as well just relax and see what happens? Or would you be thinking, actually, this is on, and could that bring pressure? Which way would you approach it?
You wouldn't be free. At this point, you think this is it. This is the moment. Because actually, you feel more free at the start of a campaign when you think, well, I can lose a game and I can still qualify, or I can lose 4 games, or in Bradley's case, potentially lose 5 games and still qualify. This is it now. You lose, you're out. And all that waiting and the qualifying and the travelling and all the work you've done, it all comes down to this game now for Bradley.
And for Jimmy Van Schie, another player who had a lot of work to do, he's done some of that work, still got a good chance himself, particularly if Brooks can beat Cam Crabtree here.
Well, that's why this game's going to be so big and so important, isn't it? And all eyes will be on Brooks. But Crabtree, he's not been there, has he, tonight? And he needs to raise it because Bradley's going to, I expect, to be around the high 80s. That's where he's sort of been playing so far this evening, which at the moment is significantly higher than what we've seen of Crabtree. And again, when we look at that sort of dejected look, we've seen that from Crabtree at the times tonight. We've seen the phantom throws coming in, the flexing, which is just a pure sign of tension.
Quick look at the table then. This is how the land lies. And Darius Labanauskas, we can confirm he's through. 10 points enough for him to progress. Conor Henahan remains a win away. Cam Crabtree still in his hands, wins both his remaining games. He will be through, just the opposite way around to how we'd have hoped his night would have gone. But Van Schie and Bradley Brooks still in contention on 4 and 2 points respectively. And Brooks about to take on Cam Crabtree. You've just explained why it's such a big game. From what you've seen tonight, who would you favour?
That is a very tricky question. My instant reaction, my gut said Bradley Brooks. And when I'm now got to try and back that up and give you a strong reason as to why, I don't think I can. And that's why it makes it really tricky. I think this one is all going to come down to who starts well and who keeps that focus. And they are the key qualities. If Bradley Brooks finds that, we've seen him play some good stuff this week, averaging over 100 at times. We know Crabtree can reach those levels, which again makes this so tricky because you try and judge people against their ceiling, but the players aren't going to play to their ceiling here, especially in this sort of nervy, edgy situation. So I'm just going to edge with Bradley, and if I had to say why, I'd say just that little bit of experience.
Absolutely. Only one way to find out. We'll let you get back to join Chris Mason in comms. 4 players fighting it out for the final 2 places in Champions Night. But just breaking away from that for a moment, one of the players through is Bo Greaves, and she's going to be here for another week with a brand new special week coming up starting Monday.
How big is your love?
Shot and the Modus Super Series Week 9 champions
To become the first ever female player to hit a televised nighttime finish.
Again, over to the right side. This is a Stephen Bunting area of the board.
Fantastic dart from Fallon Sherrick. Fantastic finish from Fallon Sherrick.
Generational talent, playing at the peak of her powers.
16. This is looking good, isn't it?
Yeah, darts' leading ladies will be in action on Monday for a brand new special week, Women's Week, the first one ever at the Modus Super Series. Fallon Sherrick and Bo Greaves in action, along with the 10-time world champion Trina Gulliver, Kirsty Vinnikine and Rhiannon Sullivan and Katie Sheldon in Group A. Vicky Proom, Lorraine Hyde and Lorraine Winstanley join in Group B. And Natalie Gilbert, Dieter Hedman, one of the most successful players ever, and our very own Laura Turner in Group C. All underway from Monday, but back here at the Super Series Champions Week, Cam Crabtree and Bradley Brooks are about to play that enormous game. Crabtree trying to halt the slide and Bradley Brooks looking to pull off what would be the most remarkable Great Escape. Without further ado, let's get it on. Back to Matthew Edgar and Chris Mason.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, and this is I am with Matt Edgar on this one. Experience may well be key. The pressure, of course, all on Crabtree's shoulders, because following this one, Jimmy Van Schie against Conor Henahan, with a Jimmy win there and a defeat for Cam here, he's in a world of trouble in terms of qualifying.
Well, I was asked the question and I weren't quite sure where to hang my mask. You've gone with me as well, but maybe our wizardry team could maybe get one of those polls going and maybe we could find out what our viewers think in the direction of this game. Do they think it's going to be Cam Crabtree or Bradley Brooks coming out with the victory?
Tell you what, I am looking forward to
85.
Next week and seeing, for me, two of the best female players in World Darts right now, in Fallon and Bow, locking horns
95.
for a week. Well, I doubt they'll lock horns for the entire week, but
I think you've undersold that when you said two of the best female players right now. I'm going to say two
ever.
of the best female players ever, yeah.
100. $76.
and it is the opening match at 9:30 on Monday morning. Do not miss that.
Well, they normally say save the best for last. Well, we're saving nothing.
Well,
100.
it will be last on Tuesday.
82. 95. Bradley require 136. 85.
Nothing, Jamie. They may have just been discussing something. Don't read too much into it. Don't be like the press or looking for some kind of angle or agenda.
51.
I think it was quite simply regarding have they got another
Game shot on the first
rotation
leg.
of
Bradley
practice.
Brooks.
Well, that was a
Second
14
leg.
dart
It's
breaker
Bradley to
throw.
throw first.
Worst
Game
possible
on.
start for Cam.
Well, I'm just having a look at
80.
people that are sending us their predictions as well. Trying to get a little bit of support with that. And general vibe is a lot of people are going
59.
with Bradley Brooks here, feeling that he could play himself into contention here, despite the fact he lost his first 5 matches. He could still qualify. I think that would mean the social media team,
97.
they're going to have to put so many Undertaker memes out and Tyson Fury memes.
Someone says here, what if Makuru beat
75.
Richardson? I don't get what you mean. What do you mean, what if?
Oh, Makuru, did she have a match start to beat Richardson like days before Fallon Sherritt beat Ted Everts?
Ah, right now I'm with you.
Very, very good. I like that one.
60.
Very, very good one. Still on the conversation, if you are just joining us, conversation of what if something changed in the history of darts? One moment or a shot.
108.
Well, I've got the biggest one. What if Eric went for the ball on the 1-2-1 in 1983 against Keith Dennett?
100.
Yeah, the board is looking a little worse for wear.
54.
I've got another one.
Bradley
What if I
require
didn't draw Darius
164?
Labanauskas twice?
$81. Cam, you require 134.
Saves the situation with the last start there. Bradley Brooks brings it down within range. 64 left.
85. Bradley, you require 83.
Bradley Brooks, just singles will give him a dart at the ball, so he's got to stay within the right corridors. He's got the treble. That gives him 2 darts at the double 16, and that is awkward.
67.
Especially for him, because his
Cammy
darts do
require
lay.
48.
To kick right, yeah.
Yeah.
28.
Wow.
Bradley, you require 16.
He broke the throw. Bradley Brooks in the opening leg. This is his chance to confirm that break. But that's that dart kicking right again there. Just blocking it off. He's going to go left and try and come over the top.
I like that dart. Nice and aggressive, which means he can get away from the block target area, get a
12.
opportunity at an
Cammy
open
require
bed.
20. Game shot on the second leg. Cam Crabtree.
How about this one? What if Mike Gregory hit the
Third
double
leg,
against
it's
Phil
Cam to
Taylor?
throw first. Game on. $140.
Well, here's another interesting one then. What if Barneveld never switched to the PDC? Because when you look at things like averages, prize funds, viewing figures, until Barneveld switch, the BDO was still beating the
60.
PDC.
Yeah, they were commercially. Certainly in terms of eyes on the sport.
And averages, when Barneveld switched over,
108.
the PDC never lost on averages ever again.
Yeah, he was like the last one, wasn't he, really?
Yes.
95.
I like this one. This is a good bit of sense of humour. It's right up mine and Match Street. Danny says, what if Edgar never hit that 170 to beat Gary Anderson? In my opinion, the Scotsman would be a 7-time world champion if it never happened.
Broke him, didn't I? Finished him.
Ruined him.
57.
To be fair, I'm not
Bradley
surprised
require
losing to me.
41. Game shot on the
Beautiful
third
leg of darts there
Bradley
from
Brooks.
Bradley
I
Brooks.
should imagine when you beat him, he only just got over getting beat by me. Sadly, I didn't do it with the
Full flag.
170.
It's Bradley to throw first. Game on.
Do you know the best part of that story?
It's true.
2 days ago
100.
from that 170, I was playing Gary Anderson and I lost 6-5 and missed 3 match darts at double 16. And I said after that game, says,
59.
I'm going to get him next time. I'm not losing next time. And I drew him 2 days later.
$85.
But that's one of those moments of confidence. And, you know, you look at that, going into that, there wasn't a lot of darts on at the time. And went in there, beat people like Suljovic. And I went away feeling absolutely brilliant. And that's, you know, what we look at when we're looking at things like this Champions Week lineup and sort of when we're talking about the confidence and the things that you can do, it changes how you feel about everything.
Well, you were showing me that run you were on, and that was to keep your card, wasn't it? And it, I mean, from start to finish, it was horrific, wasn't it? What was the names? What was the route?
Yeah, needed to make the semi-final and beat Clearmaker, Thornton, Michael Smith, Humphreys, and then lost to Van Gerwen. 1 game away.
Some effort. Some effort. The cap is doffed.
140.
Someone asking what was that about averages? Well, they used to do the averages from the BDO World Championship combined and do the same with the PDC. And
100.
the BDO's numbers were always, at that time, a little superior. However, when Barneveld
100.
joined in
Bradley, you require
2007, the averages went up. It did coincide with a few other players joining at that time as well.
36. Cam, you require 40. Game shot on the 4th flag, Cam Crabtree. Fifth flag, it's Cam to throw first. Game on. $140. 41.
Yeah, the closest the averages actually came together was in 2020. There was a slight dip in the PDC average, but wasn't that when they invented the new round?
60.
2020
Yes.
was a new first round, so
yeah, it was the 96, wasn't it?
so no surprise to see that come together until obviously players got that
140.
experience or the systems in which was getting those invites was a little bit more developed.
85.
Joe says, what do you think has changed from Brooks' Group A campaign to yesterday? Well, anything. Fatigue and just anything. Sometimes you just wake up in the morning and you just don't feel it. That's sport. Look at someone like Ronnie O'Sullivan. He'll get up some
59.
days and just doesn't work for him. That happens in a lot of individual sports that rely on very small
40. Cam
margins.
require 157. $99. Bradley, you
That's a
require
fine motor skill.
140.
Yeah, and anything can upset it.
Fine motor skill judged over the smallest of margins. Just the width of the wire there. That's meant that's give Crabtree an opportunity here. They were both a little bit unsure if it was in or not. So it was
80.
peering round trying to
Cam,
see,
you
but
require 58.
Crabtree will be hoping to get 2 darts at that same target.
Yeah, this is huge. Absolutely massive.
Game shot on the 5th flag, Cam Crabtree.
Someone says here, Adrian Lewis, the biggest, what could have
6th
been in
flag,
darts.
it's
He's
Bradley
a
to throw first.
2-time world champion, mate. I think he's done okay.
$60.
Someone said, what if Australia won the World Cup in
97.
2012? Yeah, I'm not sure how much effect that would have had on the immediate future of the sport, to be honest. But
97.
would have been great for Nico, of course.
$140. $140. $131.
Beautiful there from Crabtree. First down to a finish. And that would be a finish. That could pretty much finish this group. There's the anger now, the frustration
34.
turns.
Yeah, I think it's something
Cam, you
he needs to
require
look at in his setup
133.
and his throw.
It's cost him, hasn't it? It's cost him too many times.
117. Bradley, you require 170.
Now it's forcing him to have to take out the biggest one of them all. And it's not going to go. And this could be the end of Bradley Brooks here on Champions
100.
Week. It's double
Cam, you
8 for
require
Cameron
16.
Crabtree. Over to double 4. 2's chasing it round.
12.
Wow.
Bradley, you require
They all
70.
looked a little rushed, didn't they?
Edgy. Look at
Singles,
the angle of that dart.
yeah. Single 16 for tops.
50.
Well, you talk about
Cam,
edgy.
you
They're all
require
over the place.
4.
Darts kicking in. Just none of them released with any sort of conviction. Crabtree gets a second bite at the cherry, and
Game
this
shot
time
and
gets
the
the job
match.
done. Well,
Crabtree.
that doesn't confirm Crabtree through as of yet, but what it does do is it means that Bradley Brooks can no longer qualify. So Bradley Brooks is eliminated from Champions Week. We'll see him later on, where he may still play a part against Jimmy Van Schie. For Cam Crabtree, he's not there yet, but he is pretty much through the door. Leg difference can still come into play. But if Jimmy Van Schie cannot beat Conor Henahan next, Crabtree would be through. Let's see how that goes in a couple of minutes' time.
So game 7 here on Friday night at the Modus Super Series. In fact, we've just moved in to Saturday morning, and Conor Henahan could be here on Saturday night if he wins this match. Victory for the Irishman will secure not only his spot at Champions Night, but also will mean Cam Crabtree is confirmed as the final finalist as well. A win for Jimmy Van Schie, and they are made to wait. His hopes stay alive. So let's get the game underway in the company of Matthew Edgar and Chris Mason.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, not too many permutations now.
First leg, it's Jimmy to throw first. Game on.
Still have 4 games to bring you. Running a little later than anticipated. Apologies for that, but that's just the way the games have gone. Should be just about to start.
60.
Labanauskas against Cam Crabtree, but they will follow this one. Then it's Brooks versus Jimmy Van Schie, and then Henahan against Labanauskas,
140.
which could well be to see who wins the group.
$81.
Cuckoo, yep, this is really live now. My eyes will vouch for that.
140.
This is the venue is in Portsmouth.
It's a venue that's going to be full tomorrow night, isn't it? When the
95.
£25,000 is dished out and the trophy is lifted down there on that stage. by one of the 6 players that will be there. And at the moment,
57.
it looks like we're nearly at that point of confirmation. If Conor Henahan is to beat Jimmy Van Schie, we will then know our full 6-player lineup.
76.
Cam Crabtree
Conor, you
will
require
be
164.
cheering on. But yeah, absolute capacity tomorrow night. If you want to join us on a Saturday night, well, not tomorrow night because it's sold out, but
92.
congrats if you were one of the people that got a ticket and you're tuning in. But head over
96.
to
Conor, you require
www.dartshop.tv and all the ticket information for the Super Series is there. Also, all the information about the many big Modus
48.
exhibitions that
Jimmy, you
are
require
up and down the
93.
country. If one is near you, I would suggest going. They are a wonderful night out with the biggest stars in world darts.
77.
Someone said,
Conor, you
where would
require
Taylor rank
24.
now if he was still playing? He'd be world number 1 if he was at his peak.
Game shot on the
And if he was
first
still
leg,
playing, he would
Conor
be at his
Henahan.
peak because he was determined and driven, wasn't he? Nothing
Like
but
no
number
other.
1.
Second leg, it's Conor to throw first.
But that is the
Game
first
on.
big blow given there to Jimmy Van Schie. A break of throw in a game he must win.
85.
Like you say, if he doesn't, then we know our lineup.
58.
Then we can start to dissect that a little bit, can't we? And see if we can see what we're thinking for the 25,000.
96.
Yeah, well, after our final match this evening, you'll be joining Chris Murphy.
140.
And we will know the 2 groups, and then we can discuss it even further.
Well, I know where I'm going to be going with my predictions, so if you do want to know that, stick around till the end.
182.
I think a lot of people will be going with
Conor, you
Bo
require
Greaves.
140.
Oh my goodness, so
60.
where would you rank Taylor now if he was still playing? Well, he wouldn't get a tour card. And he's saying playing now, he thinks top 10.
58. Conor, you require 80.
What?
Game shot on his second leg, Conor Henahan. Third leg, it's Jimmy to throw first. Game on.
What if the BDO had stayed at Lakeside? No, it was never gonna.
60.
Didn't matter where they could have played on the moon. BDO's problem was it was lunatics running the asylum.
60. $85. $46.
Do you know what you could really do with
60.
having an opinion that you want to voice sometime?
Do you think I should be a bit more expressive and tell you how I feel?
I think it,
100.
Well, apparently, I've got a form of Tourette's, and it's a show. No, on a serious note, it's associated with my bipolar and depression. Apparently, I recently found out.
100.
I don't have a filter, allegedly.
I'd vouch for that.
But I'm not serious. I think it's related.
84.
I'm not sure. It's usually when I only read stuff that people write, I get
60.
the attacks. Phil has been asked to play at Modus. He was here on our opening night.
Jimmy, you require 136.
Phil, of course, playing in his final couple of events before completely retiring from competitive action.
45. Connor, you require 72.
I think there's also ticket information regarding the senior events over at the www.dartshop.tv website.
32. Jimmy,
Just
you
look up
require
World
91.
Seniors Darts.
$59. Connor, you require 40.
This would hurt this. Jimmy Van Schie, a double breaker throat.
Game shot on the
He's
third
in
leg.
big
Connor
trouble now,
Henahan.
and we may just be moments away from knowing our final 6.
Do I think
Fourth
darts
leg,
is in a
it's
better
Connor
place
to
without
throw
the
first.
video? No, all joking
Game on.
aside, that darts needs as many opportunities for players as possible.
92.
The WDF, which it always was, the World Darts Federation, all the BDO were a promoter on behalf of the World Darts Federation.
60.
They've just announced, of course, that the World Masters returns this year, and so does the World Championships. And the man on my
85.
left, well, fingers crossed, God willing, be taking part.
Yeah, I do agree that there needs to be
140.
alternate platforms.
Yep.
I would just like to see maybe a little bit more collaboration.
Yeah, I agree. But
100.
I'm not sure under its... I mean, Barry and Matt have openly said before they'd be
58.
happy to work with other organisations, but it would be them fitting in with them, not the other way round.
44. 59.
Viv Sparrow was at the Chippy opposite your pub earlier, Chris. Oh, I think it's called The Manor, isn't it?
60.
Not that I'd know, of course. I never go in there. They do an amazing kebab.
So you've heard.
Yeah. So the customers keep telling me.
Well, this could be it.
43.
This could be the end
Connor,
of the
you
road
require
for Jimmy Van Schie.
120.
This could be the conclusion of the race for the places. It's tops.
Game
And
shot.
it is.
And the match.
It's over.
Connor
It's
Henahan.
done. Connor Henahan is through to finals night, as is Cam Crabtree. Jimmy Van Schie, his race is over. He's on 4 points. He can only reach 6, and we now know the 6 is all done and dusted. We'll dissect all of that throughout the next game when Darius Labanauskas takes on Cam Crabtree. Hang on a minute.
Wow! Oh my God! Well, that's £100 down the drain already.
Itching to hit the 180. He's gone for the maximum.
Team for the ball. Ball.
53.
No, he said bull. That's a great first out from Adam. Oh, look at this. He's going to leave Schie. Oh, can you believe it? That is unbelievable.
Get match darts to put his team into the final.
And
through to the final they go. Charlie Murphy has hit the match-winning dart on both occasions. Double 4 for the title.
Game shot out of the match. Please show your appreciation for the winner of the Influencer Pairs event, George Scaife and Adam Lipscomb.
He seems to be out. That's what he is. Charlie Murphy. A couple more visits yet. We're not going to need that.
Bosh.
Pie face is through.
And he's absolutely buzzing.
It was a game that Pie face dominated throughout.
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where we can now confirm all 6 finalists for Champions Night tomorrow. And they are Bo Greaves, the Group A winner, Andreas Harrison and Rhys Robinson from Group C this afternoon, and Darius Labanauskas, Connor Henahan and Cam Crabtree have all secured their spots with time to spare in Group B. So that's Champions Night tomorrow, 7:30 live here on the Modus Super Series YouTube channel. And 2 of the players that will be in action then are in action now. Labanauskas and Crabtree, the players now just jostling for position, bragging rights, and of course to see which group they end up in for that Grand Series 7 finale. All of the qualification race is over. Now it's time to strut their stuff and enjoy the moment, and enjoying every moment, I'm sure. Chris Mason and Matthew Edgar.
Yeah, absolutely, Chris. And I'm sure Cam Crabtree is absolutely relieved to have seen Connor Henahan do him a huge favour in beating Jimmy Van Schie and ensuring his spot alongside Bo Greaves, Rhys Robinson, Andreas Harrison, Connor Henahan, and the man he's facing in this match. They will make up your 6
First
for
leg, it's Darius to
tomorrow night's
first.
final, and depending on where they finish will determine which group they go into.
Well, I think what would be an interesting thing to do while we're in the early part of this game is to ask our chat and the people that are watching along with us this evening, who do you think is going to be picking up that trophy
60.
tomorrow? Who is going to be taking that £25,000 and, I'm assuming, standing on the stage getting rained on in the confetti? I'm sure we've got confetti. If not, I might just have to go throw a few
47.
handfuls at them now I've said it. Don't want to use one of them cannons. I'd end up doing a Jack Grealish.
57.
Got a feeling Bo Greaves might be a popular selection going into tomorrow.
100. $60.
Well, I'm a bit
Maybe
baffled there.
Bit of Cam Crabtree, maybe.
122.
He does. He leans over a lot, doesn't he, before straightening up a bit. It's a bit of a habit, and I think he has got a bit of cramp. Look, he leans in, and then he comes back up and gets himself in position. Something I'd like to see him
96.
change over
Harris
time. Or
require
I've got a feeling he may end up
160.
with back and hip issues.
Well, the possible sign there as well, it is late. Maybe a sign of dehydration as well there on Crabtree.
68.
Maybe needs to get himself an isotonic sports drink.
Correct. A bit of salt.
80.
A lot
Darius
of people
require
questioning whether
92.
Bo if she wins this and then wins another Women's World Championship and maybe the Women's World Match Play, should she consider playing in the PDC? Well, it's not as simple as that. She would obviously have to, first of all, get a tour card. But she's mentioned that she doesn't feel she's anywhere near ready for that yet and is quite happy
63.
doing exactly what she's doing. And Matt dug a little bit deeper and looked at her seasonal numbers and how that matches up on the Pro Tour. And well, she'd be in the mid-80s, Matt, wouldn't she, with the numbers she's currently posting?
That was her sort of peak season.
Yeah.
Her overall 12-month with everything considered
actually
actually was outside of the 128.
Yeah.
But that's the question, who's going to win it? I thought Bo would be popular. There's quite a couple of Bo selections in there. And Alan Green saying, Dirty Harrison, he said it all along.
140. $140.
A lot of people saying it reminds them a little bit of MVG. Yep, I see 45. Where you're coming from with that.
We made reference to The Undertaker, didn't we?
Yep.
From Leamington Spa, Nigel Hayden.
58.
Someone who used to...
Fine player.
Have that dip, didn't he, over the hip. Someone played it like... I mean, when you say what-if moments, he nearly took Adrian Lewis out in the first round. I think it was the year Adrian Lewis won it, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're bang on the money there, pal.
That might have just sparked one of those thought patterns there of other conversations. I'm going to go over to Dr. Google.
43.
Andy Bossman saying, got to be a time when Bo thinks, what if she's 20? She's got all the time
60.
in the world to
Can you require 160?
do exactly what she wants to do. And for me, that's the most important thing
102.
is Bo doing what Bo wants to do.
He just went 60 ball for a 160.
He did.
Cheeky. Do you know what? I'd love to have seen that. I don't think I've seen 60 ball. I've seen the 120, 20 ball.
I actually beat Simon Whitlock with that in that ridiculous run I had that day back in
Game shot on the second leg, Cam Crabtree.
10-ish.
Well, I can confirm in 2012.
Third leg, it's Darius to throw first.
That was when Adrian Lewis took on Nigel Hayden in the first round of the World Championship. I believe Nigel was actually 2-0 up.
Yeah.
Adrian Lewis came back to win 3-2.
100.
Then went on to beat Robert Thornton, Wayne Jones, Terry Jenkins. En route. James
46.
Wade in the semi-final. And then beat the Hammer in the final to pick up another World Championship. Get this for stat. I love looking back through the old things. And in that year,
100.
in the prelim round, had players such as Joe Cullen, Devon Peterson, Jose de Souza.
43.
Jose averaged 75 in getting beat by Devon Peterson 4-3. Connie Finnan. Now there was a player.
Yep, it was his birthday just the other day. Happy birthday, Connie.
100.
Someone says here, evening Matt and Mace, I'm a referee and would love to make my Modus debut series in Series 8. Who would be the best person to get in contact with? I will find that out for you. I would contact one of the many social medias and maybe post a video of you refereeing
89.
in official competition.
A show reel, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit of a show reel, correct.
A good sort of 20, 30
59.
minutes of
Darius, you require
footage, I'd say,
32.
would be the best thing. That looks inviting.
$16.
Was it Gerald Cole's 60 ball you were referring to? Someone suggesting that on
Darius, you
the
require
chat.
16.
No, I hadn't seen it before. That would have been a new one.
Game shot on the third leg. Darius Labanauskas. Fourth leg. It's Cam to throw first. Game on.
Paul Hinks was the referee on that
45.
occasion.
Seems to get a lot of big moments, doesn't he?
He does.
Paul Hinks, and if there aren't no big moments, he just makes his own.
$137.
The
60.
127 and game. He did another one of those in Southampton, didn't he?
Saying here that Connie has qualified for the Modus through ADC. Well, that's fabulous news. It'd be great to see him. I hope I'm on that week.
100.
Not seen him for many a year.
Very, very dangerous player.
45.
Well, at the moment, Cam just losing his way there in the background, just trying to get everything right.
140.
Well, needs to get it right before tomorrow night. Got to be all right on the night.
182.
Well, that's some way to recover after the
Darius, you
phantom
require
darts, isn't it?
124.
It was a phantom look away 180. Viv Sparrow said, we'll be in London tomorrow night. Hope the Wi-Fi is good. I'm off to watch a weekend of British independent
60.
wrestling. Sounds horrific. What did you do wrong to be put through that?
127. Darius, you require 64.
Can't be looking forward to it too much if he's more bothered about the Wi-Fi. Can't be planning on going out very far.
Curtis says, as a member of the Edgar Nation,
Game shot on the fourth flag.
as
Darius
Darius
Labanauskas.
Labanauskas takes a 3-1 lead. I could never root for Darius.
Fifth flag.
Come
It's
on, the
Darius
crab.
to throw first. Game on.
He's broken our hearts on many occasions as Darius Labanauskas.
Well, he won't be breaking anybody's hearts here because both of these two
140.
safely through. Job done. Along with Conor Henahan. Like I said, at the moment, all that Darius is playing for is
96.
trying to win the group. And that may come down, or it will come down, to his match with Conor Henahan, our final match of the session.
97.
Well, there is a financial reward, isn't there, for positions. So for the players, they're going to still have that steely focus because ultimately you want to make it pay. You're here, you're playing the games anyway. You might as well get the wins and earn the extra pounds.
Absolutely. Who doesn't love a couple of extra pounds?
100.
I think me when I stand on the scales.
You're getting them off, pal.
83. Darius, you require 164.
I'm tired now. And
100.
I've got a 3-hour drive home after tomorrow night's final and then a 12-hour dart marathon on Sunday.
We've been practicing well for it all week. You've had
I
about
have.
10
Darius, you
minutes.
require 64.
I'm saving my energy.
This could be for the match, double 16.
Game Game shot. And the
Cushy
match.
work there
Darius
for Darius Labanauskas. It wasn't there for Cam Crabtree from the very off. Didn't really look settled. He had a bit of cramp throughout that game, but the tension has been there pretty much all night for Crabtree as he embraces with Darius, who now hits the top of the table by a couple of points. But we do have a couple of games still to go. Bradley Brooks will be taking on Jimmy Van Schie.
Edging closer to Champions Night here at the Modus Super Series. We now know the lineup and we start to know a little bit about who's in what group. Cam Crabtree confirmed third after that 4-1 defeat to Darius Labanauskas. That means he'll be in with Andreas Harrison, and the winner of this group, that will be decided in the last match of the night when Conor Henahan takes on Darius Labanauskas. The victor will top the group. But as far as this pair go, or their race is run, it is Jimmy Van Schie and Bradley Brooks off as well. I'll hand you over to Chris Mason and Matthew Edgar.
First leg, it's Bradley to throw first.
Good work, Murph. Good
Game
work.
on.
Now, someone's saying here, Harry Sawyer, I normally average between 80 and 90 in Super League. Good enough for the Modus. Absolutely. Get yourself along to an ADC or, well, I'll say and walk it, but you've got every chance averaging between 80 and 90 every time you play. My goodness.
100.
Well, someone's saying here, what was your wrestling name when you did wrestle? Matt?
Most of the time I just wrestled under my own name. I wasn't really one that liked the sort of...
gimmicky.
Yeah.
100.
I believe more in monikers rather than being a name as such.
81.
I am tempted to get back in.
Are you?
Yes.
Well, with your fight being a bit like the boxing misfits thing, you know,
81.
where they have influencers fighting, it'll be no different in the wrestling arena, surely.
Well, the plan is before I do the surgery, and I'm not going to mess it up any further, do it then.
Yeah. So they can sew your limbs back together. Good idea, Matt. Not one of your better ones, that. I think sticking to TikTok might be the better idea. Cuckoo is playing in the Swiss qualifier for the World Cup of Darts.
83.
Good luck.
Jimmy, you require 80. Game shot on the first leg, Jimmy Van Schie.
Good luck to Matt Edgar getting slammed off the
Second
top
leg,
rope.
it's Jimmy to throw first.
Clotheslined, didn't it? Is that what they...
Game on.
Oh, I'm not going up to the top rope anymore. That's not happening. But yeah, it's something I'm going to be...
Get out, do it, mate. Get out of your system. I
59.
I suppose I was not the end of my career, but it was getting that way, and I did a load of, they weren't
11.
called white collars back then, but very similar to that, and I thought I want one more. I went away on the quiet and had one more.
140.
I wish I didn't. I looked like a panda the next time I played darts. I just had to get out of my system.
Yep.
I wanted one more.
Absolutely.
57.
Absolutely. And, you know, one of those people, I want to do something, I have to do it. So
124.
Just so happens, the place I used to train was actually here in Portsmouth.
Yes,
40.
that's right. I remember you said it was
It's
a specialist gym, isn't
Still
it?
stands now.
Yeah.
So I'll be testing that out in July.
Someone suggested, well,
138.
prime time, of course, but the prime timer.
$140. Jimmy, you require 40.
Jimmy's timing everything
Game shot on the
perfectly
second
here.
leg,
Bang in the
Jimmy Van
middle
Schie.
for 2-0.
Third leg, it's
looking
Bradley
like
to throw first. Game
Bradley
on.
Brooks's campaign will end in defeat. I know he'll be desperately disappointed, but
58.
there's plenty of... It doesn't feel like it right now, I'm sure, to him, but there is plenty of positives. Certainly with some of the performances
96.
in Group A, and as you rightly mentioned, Matt, he was only a couple of legs away from winning Group A.
Well, when we talk about those
96.
what-if moments,
Correct.
could we be talking about that if Bo does pick up the title tomorrow?
60. $60. 99. $100.
Mr. Nobody whatsoever said, Chris, you could make a tag team with Matt.
134.
The Tungsten Twins could be a good name for your team. I've got enough brain damage already, mate. I don't need any more. Well, Kevin, I think gambling's not for
59.
you if you're
Jimmy, you require
betting on dead rubbers
112.
at 20 to 1 in the morning. Gam stop or be
60.
gamble aware
Bradley, you require
is your friend.
128. Game shot on the third leg, Bradley Brooks.
Oh, out of nowhere. Bradley Brooks
Literally.
popped in a big 1-8.
Fourth leg, it's Jimmy to throw first. Game on.
You say about you don't need any more damage. Maybe I've had too much to consider getting back in. And the thing is, I can say this because I know the missus ain't watching tonight, so I can get away with it. She hates the idea.
Yeah,
108.
I'm waiting for your phone to go with, no, you're bloody not. Someone saying, what happened to Bradley Brooks? He lost a few games at darts, mate.
100.
It's one of those things that, in your head, you believe you can do it. I remember last year, or a couple of years ago now, I thought, I can still
59.
play football, and went along, had a couple of games, ended up in A&E because nearly had my ear sliced off, and I was like...
Oh, yeah, I remember. That was terrible.
Yeah.
That
Nearly
was a
lost my ear.
horrific injury,
60.
wasn't it? Nearly had your ear ripped off. And that was just football. Imagine what's going to happen to you in wrestling.
Thanks for the confidence.
180. Bradley require 161.
Shots on. Ball.
That would have been back-to-back bullseyes and big finishes there
Jimmy
from Bradley
require
Brooks.
90.
But this is a performance and a half here from Jimmy Van Schie, just showing what he can do when the freedom is there. But that is awkward. He's got to somehow get past that. That's the danger of this route.
This would be like the bullseye that Taylor hit against Wade in the match play.
You might as well just have a rest up against the wall over that side.
Oh, great effort.
65.
The line was
Bradley
right.
require 25.
Just finding them adjustments and throwing a little bit further away. Double 12 for a level game.
1. Jimmy, you require 25.
There's been 2 180s in the match, one apiece.
Game shot on a 4 flag, Jimmy Van Schie.
Jimmy at the moment, credit to him. He's producing some
5th flag.
good
it's Bradley to
spells
throw
and some
first.
good numbers
Game
this
on.
evening at times. He's averaging 97.6.
This is the last time that you're going to see these two players
45.
as part of this series. Last game of the evening for the pair. We do have one more game still to go. Connor Henahan will take on Darius Labanauskas in that one. And I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing Bradley Brooks and both Jimmy Van Schie in our next series.
Curtis says,
60.
Matt, I think he means if Ric Flair could still get into the ring at his age, I think you'll do all right. Oh,
92.
what a nice moment for you being compared to Ric Flair. Even I know who Ric Flair is.
Different styles. Different styles completely.
55. $99.
You'll know. It's all about foot placement, footwork.
Yeah.
And if you can't do that, you can't do 90% of it.
Mobility, balance, and core strength.
Or you can do it, but it just looks terrible.
60.
Yeah, I was still helping out in a gym just prior to lockdown, taking the kids on the pads
96.
and doing some body sparring and moving around. And yeah, once your legs go, your balance goes, your timing goes.
100.
Almost like in two halves,
Jimmy
isn't
require
it? The upper body still
140.
goes.
Yeah.
$74.
That would have finished off a very polished performance here for Jimmy Van Schie, who, like we said earlier, you want to leave with positivity.
60. Jimmy, you require 40.
And will he do that right here? On double 10, he
Game
will.
shot and the match,
Decent
Jimmy
performance
Van Schie.
to sign off. Not his week, and neither that of his opponent, Bradley Brooks. A disappointing end to a campaign that looked on course to get him through to Saturday night's final in Group A. Not to be. A 95-57 from Jimmy Van Schie signs off with that 4-1 win. When we come back, Connor Henahan against Darius Labanauskas.
Well, the live lounge will look very different come Saturday night. Capacity audience in the arena for Champions Night, watching the 6 finalists battle it out for the highest ever payout. £25,000 on offer to the winner of Champions Night in Super Series 7. Both of these players will be there, Conor Henahan and Darius Labanauskas, but their final task in the qualifying stages is to determine who wins the group, and that honour will go to whoever wins this match. So let's hand you over to our big match commentary team for the last time until Champions Night. It's Chris Mason and Matthew Edgar.
Thank you very much, Chris. Yeah, in around 18 hours' time, this place will be, well, it'll look very different and it'll feel very different, especially for these two, but plenty to play for here. As we mentioned, there is a financial incentive for finishing top of the group. And of course, Matt, unlike our previous game where, yes, you want to finish on a bit of a high and go out on a win, even though you're disappointed, you want to finish the group on a win to go into tomorrow nights with that winning mentality.
It's not something you can just turn on and off, is it? And if you turn it off, you don't know if it's going to come back on when you want 55. It there. So the best thing to do is just keep that focus. Keep on task.
125.
It could be a situation, of course, where they do meet tomorrow night. When they met last 99. Night, it was the opening game of the session. All the ties reversed. Hence, these two are on last, and this time it's Henahan 60. With the throw. Darius had the throw in last night's match, and he used it well because he ran out a 4-1 winner with a 91 average, despite Henahan averaging very nearly 95.
$60. $95. Connor, you require 160. $100. Darius, you require 112.
60 on throw. May not get a go if he finds double 16.
80. Connor, you require 60. Game shot on the first leg, Conor Henahan.
Tidy enough. Scott Rose says, bit gutted, Andy Davison knocked out.
Second leg, it's Darius
for the first time here, he's defo one for the future. Oh, me and Matt Edgar totally agree, don't we?
Yeah, did himself proud, did himself good, did Andy Davidson.
60.
Someone I'm sure we're going to see maybe as a bit more of a regular feature here now at the Super Series. He's certainly earned that right.
Absolutely. He won't have to worry about ADC qualifiers playing at that level, and listen, a winner on debut as well. Won his week to qualify by right for Champions Week. Didn't quite work out for him, but
100.
Played some very, very entertaining stuff. Easy on the eye, nice and quick.
See, Darius just did something there, and it's something that I don't see from any other. But sometimes he'll like dip his legs and do like a little mini squat when he throws one of the darts. It's like his way of sort of going over the top of a dart. It's a very unusual quirk that he does on very rare occasions.
Just did it there, didn't he? There's a little dip and he sort of climbs, doesn't he?
And sometimes it's even more pronounced than that, where he literally like bend at the knees. Maybe he's putting himself forward here for trampoline darts.
Well, remarkably, that was one of the better ideas.
77. Connor, you require 121. 103.
Reminder
Darius,
to
you
hit
require
that subscribe button because
164.
we do have some upside down dartboard darts coming your way very soon.
Yep, we do. Subscribe, hit that bell. And while you're at it, I mean, we've not got very many likes this evening, have we? I tell you what we have hit, though. 43,000 subscribers.
124.
Thank you
Connor, you
very
require
much for that.
18.
Only 119 likes. Well, let's see if we can get that up to a couple of 100 before the
Game shot on a
end
second
of this
leg.
game,
Connor Henahan.
which is now 2-0 to Henahan, averaging
Third leg, it's Connor to
96.97.
throw first. Game on.
Still over 1,000 of you watching, getting us to 200. At least should be a piece of cake. But thank you to all of our new subscribers, breaching that
135.
43,000 subscribers.
$45.
Don't forget, we go
100.
live tomorrow, or should I say today, actually, at 7:30 p.m. for our Series 7 Champions Week
45.
finals. We got a wonderful lineup for you. Bo Greaves, Reece Robinson, Andreas Harrison, Connor Henahan, Darius Labanauskas,
94.
and Cam Crabtree.
$85. $140.
Takes his average up to 102.63.
$180. Connor, you require 32.
Showing some defiance. Is it all in vain?
Sometimes when your opponent does hit a big
Darius, you
maximum,
require
you hear the call, it just
146.
takes you out your stride a little bit, doesn't it? You just take a look over to the scoreboard, see where he is, and it just deters from that concentration.
Yeah, it's the only way you can really
94.
sportingly have any kind of
Connor, you
effect on
require
your
16.
opponent, isn't it?
Game shot on the third leg. Connor Henahan.
Like I said, this is important
Fourth leg. It's
for Connor
Darius to throw
Henahan, having
first. Game
been
on.
defeated and quite heavily against Darius last night. You just want to get one over on him.
Well, what will be interesting is all the talk's going to be about players like Bo Greaves, Reece Robinson, in regards to who we think's going to
123.
go on to win Champions Week. But what do we say about leaving with positivity? Connor Henahan,
125.
if he wins this leg, will go into finals night with 2 4-0 victories back to back.
Momentum.
That is a big if, though, the way that Darius Labanauskas is starting to fill the Reds.
174.
Can you still throw them nails? Maddest thing ever seeing you at a 180 back in the day.
100. $140.
Pointless them
66.
180s if you can't
Darius, you
finish.
require
And
64.
146s are easy. I don't think I ever miss a 146 after a max.
$48.
It's maybe just a on-throw consolation leg for Darius.
40. Darius, you require 16.
Again, puts it right on the wire. Just moving across to try and open up the bed.
Game shot on the
Beautiful
full
there
flag.
from
Darius
Labanauskas.
Labanauskas.
Yeah, he's pretty good at that, isn't he? Seen plenty of that from him over the years.
Fifth flag, it's Connor to throw first.
Oh, here comes Henahan. Very nearly with a
135.
180. It would have been his first in this particular match. Only had the one so far from this man, who doesn't hit a great deal of 180s as it goes.
Well, Darius Labanauskas didn't hit any 180s yesterday. Is it 4 today?
Yeah.
100.
Does it? A lot of 140s and a lot of tons though. Hello. Right on cue.
140.
That's a fourth in the match. He's averaging 96 himself.
50.
It's Henahan just starting to feel the heat. You can sometimes try and get over the line too quickly, can't you, Matt?
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes you just start to rush things a little bit.
140.
You just want to get the job done, especially when you kind of already know the qualification. But as we mentioned, there is prize funds here
100.
for
Darius, you require
winning the league, which
161.
Connor Henahan would do with victory.
Mako Ball.
100.
Rightly so, chooses
Connor,
to
you
stay
require
there.
116.
Like the lie of the darts, had the feel. Single 16, tops to get it done.
96. Darius, you require 61.
How many times has that happened over the week so far? Double 4. Super
Game
little
shot on the fifth
finish.
flag. Darius Labanauskas.
Rescued the situation oh so well there with a 15 dart.
Sixth flag.
Break
It's
a
Darius
throw.
to throw first.
And now has the darts
Game
to
on.
level things up. Connor Henahan led 3-0.
Well, you talk about the positivity of what you can take into a finals night. Imagine turning this around from 3-0 down when Connor Henahan was running
55.
pretty comfortably over the 100 for quite a good chunk of this game. He's not been able to get the job done here, and Labanauskas reeling him back in.
135.
Oh, here's one for you. Christmas charity week. One heavy dart, one light dart, one of their own darts. Well, you might as well just get them jumping on a trampoline at the same time.
96.
I mean,
Stick the board on the ceiling.
yeah. Throwing left-handed. And you can only score on the doubles and finish on the trebles.
95.
Going back to your Formula One theory here, aren't we, Chris?
I just don't know how on earth that could be remotely enjoyable to
100.
watch for more than 30 seconds. We're going to have to get you thrown on a trampoline for one of your TikTok videos.
101.
Some of the worst darting ideas I've ever heard. And then just go through them and try them without the one lying on your back throwing at the ceiling, because that would breach health and safety.
I think one of the best bits about it was the thought that went into it as well.
Yeah, I know.
Because the rules was that you could only throw when you was in the air.
125.
Great set of play there, though, from
Darius, you
Henahan,
require
and that forces the
110.
issue here for Labanauskas. If he wants to win this group, you feel this may go.
Treble 17. No. So Connor will be back at
50.
45
Connor, you require 45.
to get the job done. And it's tops is his choice. 10s. Oh dear.
35.
Just
Darren,
can't
you
throw it to
require
bed.
60.
Bed? What's that? Is that where you do that sleep thing? I remember that.
Staring it down.
$50. Connor, you require 10.
It's not going to split. And that's a super guide.
Game shot.
Gets
and
the
match.
reward.
Connor Henahan.
Follows the dart in quite beautifully. And like I said, important for Connor. Was defeated by Darius last night. 4-1 and back-to-back wins for Connor Henahan in what's been a very tidy campaign. And he wins the group, both him and Darius finishing on 12 points, separated only by leg difference. There are the averages, 92.84 for the winner Henahan, 93.65 for Darius. Well, let's get a roundup of all the action with Chris Murphy and Matthew Edgar.
Yeah, thanks very much, Chris. An interesting week. We now have our 6 Champions Night finalists. Connor Henahan winning the group in the end. A deserving winner for you?
Well, I guess the bookies got it right, didn't they? We questioned it at the start of the night, suggesting maybe it should be the other way around with Darius Labanauskas in that way, but they saw something in Henahan and he came through for them there. And Connor Henahan has been steady all week. He's been okay in patches, but that low at the early on just sort of was a bit of a concern for me, where he finished in the bottom 3 averages on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, but he's really sorted out in this group and he knows how to win weeks. He knows what it takes. He's one of the most experienced players in this sort of format, and on the back of winning that group, maybe we just need to look his direction a little bit tomorrow, because we know he's got that explosive nature within his game.
Yeah, a lot of the damage was done last night for the 3 players that went through. Here's what happened tonight. The results early on actually did delay what in the end proved to be the inevitable. Cam Crabtree in particular losing those first 2 matches. Only got 1 win tonight in the end as well. Where does that leave him going into tomorrow?
Uncertain, and I think his qualification week, he felt uncertain. There was moments of brilliance, but the highs are so high and the lows are so low, and when you're playing in this sort of field, you're not going to get away with that. It needs to find somewhere in the middle, especially with some of the players. We've got Rhys Robinson, Bo Greaves that are going to be coming his way tomorrow night, but I think this is shaping up to be a very good sort of finals night, and I don't think we've got one player that you'd think you'd hang your hat on. I think when we've had Champions Weeks in the past, when Luke Littler was here, you'd always say Luke Littler. When Scott Taylor, he looked like he stood out. When Raymond Smith, he looked like he stood out. I think this is possibly the most open one we've had since the first one when Conan Whitehead won.
Yeah, who do you think it would mean, or who do you think it would do the most for winning this Champions Week? Whose kind of career would it change the most?
That's a great question, because I think it'll do it all for different reasons. I mean, if we take the 2, what I think are the 2 favourites, Rhys Robinson and Bo Greaves, I think for Bo Greaves, it's going to give a confirmation of the talent. And we know she's stuck with the ladies' game a lot of the times. This was sort of one of her moves into open gender sport. She's also played some of the development tour events. And the week she had here, I think, validated that decision for her. But I think if she was to win a Champions Week, I think it could really sort of change her philosophy on her own career, because we know she sort of looks down and up, so to speak, at her career. And I think it maybe just raise her confidence levels a little bit in what she can achieve. Where for Rhys Robinson, he's been around the game for quite a while now, and he's always played well, but he's never had that moment to show for it. And I think maybe for Rhys Robinson to have it, I wouldn't be surprised if Rhys Robinson wins this tomorrow if he's in tears on that stage, because what will happen is all those years of travelling and sacrifice, dating back since 2011 when he first burst on the scene, that's 13 years, and he's still not had his moment, and I'd love to see him get that.
What about someone like Connor Henahan, who obviously won the group tonight? Most of his best stuff has come here at the Super Series, so it would be a real fitting champion, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It would be exactly the same as Jim McEwen, who sort of used this as sort of where you associate him with. A lot of people, you say, oh, he's a PDC player or a WDF or a development tour player. For Jim McEwen, I see him as a Super Series player. And it's the same with Conor Henahan. So he'd be a very fitting face of the series going forward.
Right, we are going to just talk through the players that have made it through to finals night here on Champions Week. This is how they got there. Bo Greaves, the winner of Group A, as Matt mentioned. Henahan winning Group B. Harrison winning Group C. The two runners-up, Darius Labanauskas and Rhys Robinson. And in the end, Cam Crabtree in third place. Now, I'm going to ask you who you think is going to win, but I'm going to do it giving you the benefit of knowing who's in what group. So here are the groups for Champions Night. Group 1, Greaves, Robinson, Labanauskas. Group 2, Crabtree, Harrison, Henahan. Does that change your mind on anything?
I'm really looking forward to Rhys Robinson, Bo Greaves. And the 180 market on that is going to be something I'm really excited to see because they are two massive 180 hitters. I would have been looking at between Rhys and Bo, but I think the fact Andreas Harrison's in a different group, I think that could play quite... Can I have three people?
Go on, you have three. Chris can have the other three.
I'll have Harrison, Bo and Rhys.
I'll say how happy he is about that tomorrow. But they do look real standout groups, as they should on a Champions Night. Look, some of the Champions Nights we've had here, you mentioned Scott Taylor, Jim McEwen winning the recent ones, 2 for Luke Littler before that, all very special. What could happen tomorrow that would make this stand up there as really, really special as well?
To see what it means to the players. This is a sizable trophy now in the world of darts. This is a sizable paycheck. The only way you're going to earn more money in a one-day event or a one-night event is by winning a world championship of the amateur side of the game, whether that's the WDF or on the seniors tour. They're the only prizes richer than this one. So this is a sizable night for these players, and I really want to see what it means to them. And I like things like Britain's Got Talent. And one of the things that really, you get the emotion because you get to see the hard work and the graft and the sacrifice and the dedication that they have done to hone their craft to get to that point. And it's the same for these guys tomorrow. I want to see that sort of, and I think we see that most from Rhys.
And this place behind us, of course, it's going to look a little different tomorrow. It'll be sold out. Luke Littler, when he won, he spoke about just over 100 people fit into this venue. It's kind of very different feeling, but a mini experience of what might be to come later in a successful career. And he said it felt like a lot more than that. What can that do? What dynamic change can that mean for the players? And can some sort of thrive and some maybe sink?
Instant feedback. That's what it is. You hit a 140 here, it's great, you hit a 140, but you hit a 140 with the crowd, you get that little ripple of applause. That makes a difference when there's a reaction to what you're doing, a reaction to your process. And that is something that they don't have to deal with all week. And for some of them, they don't deal with it that often. And if you're not dealing with it on a regular basis, you forget. You forget what that feeling's like. You forget what it's like to be on there in front of an audience. And it will play its part at times, absolutely. And it will change the dynamic and the feel. But for some people, I think it's going to bring them alive. I keep going back to Rhys Robinson. And maybe I'm doing it as I'm foresighting something that's going to happen. And I think he's the sort of player that will really relish that sort of instant feedback in that crowd.
Well, we will find out tomorrow. Thanks for your company this week. We'll see you tomorrow, and hopefully we'll see you as well. If you are lucky enough to be one of those 100 here at the Live Lounge, then we will see you here. But if you're not, then of course the action starts, as always, 7:30 live on the Modus Super Series YouTube channel, when somebody will have their name added to the Roll of Honour, pick up a record £25,000 and lift the trophy here at the Live Lounge.